Wake up with the sun in a steaming cup. Tune into the show where the vibes heat up. The Morning Mac got the flavor, got the glow. Start it right, let your energy flow. High takes rising like the morning brew. Fresh ideas and a laugh or two. From the first headline to your daily dose, this is the show where your spirit goes. Oh, it's the Morning Mac, where the time don't lag. Get your inspiration packed in a casual swag. Sip it slow, feel the rhythm hit your toes. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow. Dreams alive. The Mac got the groove, keeping you in stride. No snooze, just choose to wake up bold. This is your hour, let your story unfold. New ideas with the sunrise spark. Fuel for your fire when the world feels dark. Spinning the tracks of your mental glow. Every listen's a hit on the Morning Mac Show. Oh, it's the Morning Mac, where the time don't lag. Get your inspiration packed in a casual swag. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow. New ideas with a sunrise spark. Fuel for your fire when the world feels dark. We're spinning the tracks of your mental glow. Every listen's a hit on the Morning Mac Show. Oh, it's the Morning Mac, where the time don't lag. Get your inspiration packed in a casual swag. Sip it slow, feel the rhythm hit your toes. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow. Your toes. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow. Roll out of bed, bring your dreams alive. The Mac got the groove, keeping you in stride. No snooze, just choose to wake up bold. This is your hour, let your story unfold.
Grand Rising. How is everybody doing today? It's a little drizzle, a little overcast, but we here. The sun is shining. We're going to do our thing this morning, baby. On Tall Thursday, I got a special treat for y'all. In the house, we do have a doctor that deals with our mental to make sure our mind and everything is right. Because look, even though May is Mental Health Month, every day is Mental Health Month. That's why, you know how I get my day started right? I get my day started right here. Read a couple of chapters of this here book, Shades of Blue by A.M. Morning, and drink my Molly Moore Seymour's, and I'm good. And I go back and read this book over and over again because I'm always missing something different, and I get a little giggle, a little gaggle out of something different. You know, I'm looking at Blue and the way she say stuff and do stuff. I said, that Blue was a mess. It tickles me. and it gets me away from all my problems in this book right here, Shades of Blue by A.M. Morning. If you have not gotten your copy of it, get your copy of it. If you have not read the book, you got the book and ain't read it, get into it. I'm telling you, do yourself a favor. It's a little story. It'll take you away. If you're reading, no more than 3 hours. Okay, those for you that has adult ADD, no more than 3 hours. It's less than 200 pages. It's something small and cute. Go on and do that and get it for a friend. Get it. This would have been a great Mother's Day gift. Right there, bam. Mother's Day gift for you. Father's Day gift. Fathers read too. Men read too. Get your sea moss in your cup. What? That's what I'm talking about. But enough of me jaw jacking about all the good stuff we got going on. And we got to get y'all our Molly Mall commercial up there. We even got a commercial with the sea moss where you get to actually see him making it, putting this stuff together. Beautiful. Mwah. That's what I'm saying. You know, I'm almost out my lemonade because I've been drinking Miss Misha's lemonade. And see, I know she's gonna kill me, but I'll die for that. That's worth her fussing at me for. You know, I'll just get her some more. That's all. Ain't that much to it. She playing with it, but don't play with it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's get to the show. Let's introduce our super producer. Good morning, Mr. Molly Moore, and good morning, Mr. Trey Gray. Big Trey in the house. Grand rising to you.
What up,
Poppin',
Rick?
good morning. What's up, Slick? I see you the first one in this joint. Of course,
Slicky.
thank you.
He said he wanted to meet Dr. Lady J. Slicky just want to check her out. Okay,
It's all right. See what she talking about. I'm excited about that.
Speaking of Dr. Lady J, grand rising to you, Dr. Lady J.
Good morning.
Grand rising. And I'm gonna also say a grand rising too while we got him on an exclusive. The B man, is he still with us?
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. That's my baby daddy. So I gotta behave. That's the joke. You the baby daddy that never pay child support. Telling me first you gotta produce a child. So I'm like, okay, but you still the baby daddy. Anyway,
Okay.
Dr. J, since this is your first time here on the Morning Mac Show, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and all that good stuff.
So I hope everybody can hear me okay because I'm at Sam's Club. My tire decided to blow out. So I'm here at Sam's Club getting my tire fixed. So hopefully
We can hear
everybody
you just
can hear
fine.
me.
We can hear you.
Great. Awesome. Because you know how you go somewhere and you get in a quiet place and then everybody comes around you and they want to talk. And so that's what's happening right now. I found a quiet spot. Here come everybody.
No, your
So
phone
anyway,
is actually very clear. So your microphone, I don't hear any
awesome.
background noise. I don't hear any customers.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So everybody called me Dr. Lady J, and I am actually a chaplain. I work with people in the criminal justice system. So I do a lot of work with them. I go in and out of the prisons, the detention centers, the uh, Clifton T. Perkins Hospital, and I go in and do mental health work. Um, my doctorate is in divinity, and I really wanted to learn more about mental health because in our community, one, we don't talk about it, and two, a lot of us are mentally challenged. We just don't want to admit it. So I really wanted to find out, more about me and why I let myself be in a relationship for 29 years, and just what was going on with me. So that's a little bit about me. And I also do a lot of motivational speaking on mental health. And I'm definitely an advocate for at-risk youth and, men and women in domestic violence situations. So that's just a little bit about me. I do a lot of stuff, a lot. So that's a little bit.
Right. I know that's right.
Okay. Well, thank you. DJ B man, this is not your first time, but it's not often that we get the pleasure of speaking with you. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the people that may or may not know you a little bit about you.
I want to give God honor and glory. And secondly, man, Dr. Lady J and out there, y'all are two phenomenal individuals. Dr. Lady J didn't even name half the stuff she does. She's my friend. She does podcasts, criminal stuff. I chaplain, right, man, and she has her own podcast. Phenomenally gifted woman, and also you too, Reese. You're an author. You got a podcast. You crazy funny. You know what I'm saying, right? And I know comedy, and I've been in the business when I know your character sustains your giftedness, right? So, but I'm DJ B, man. I've been um, promoting, producing, and DJing for 5.5 years. I've thrown over 30 comedy shows in the DMV. Um, I am a co-author myself. I'm a peer specialist. You know, I'm a person in recovery. Um, Also, the vice commander of American Legion 55 in Bel Air, which helps veterans with those shows out there. Right, I'm very proud of that because I'm a disabled veteran myself. You know, dude who drive a truck, man, love the Lord and try to, you know, try to serve God through serving others through whatever gifts He's given me.
All right. I know that's
I'm
right.
sorry, y'all. Everywhere I go, I see somebody I know. Hold on a second. Hey, how are you? You know about you yesterday.
That's what it's like for you out there
Oh, yes, sir.
when you're
I'm
well
doing
known
good.
in
I'm
the
doing good.
area.
Yes. I'm
You
doing
know,
good. Y'all, God is
see everybody, and you got to give everybody, love. And that, like Trey said a long time ago on the show, just saying good morning or acknowledging somebody can make their day. Uh, because I remember when he said it because I thought about it. I was like, yeah, just saying hello to somebody, and that's what a lot of times we don't even do that. You see somebody, you walk right by them and everything. It don't take but a second to say hello to acknowledge them. I see you. You're here, and I see you, and grand rising to you, or top of the morning to you, or however you want to greet them. Just greeting them to let them know, hey, it makes them. Sometimes people be feeling some type of way, and you smile at them, you change their day. You can make them
Yeah,
feel good. A little bit of love goes a long way. I'm
I
telling
agree.
you. Yep.
So what we
And,
hitting on today as far as subject matter? What we talking about today?
we want to talk about some mental health. Of course, I got some crazy video. But did y'all see in the news about Cyril Ramaphosa? Now, this is the South African president that had to come over here to the U.S. to defend his position that there's no genocide among white farmers. I just thought it was a little. It gave me a little chuckle because I'm like, imagine white folks running from black folks, and that's what they doing. They're saying, "Oh, it's genocide. The black folks is killing us and everything." I think it was Molly that said that a few months ago. So I remember stuff that my folks say about we should do a movie with white folks being slaves and the black folks being the slave masters or whatever have you. And so now you got a situation where you got white folks running from what they call genocide. So when Spirit Ramaphosa, he was like, "That's not true." He was like, "Black farmers, white farmers, people were just getting killed all across the board. It wasn't no genocide of white South Africans." So now they're gonna have to send them back. But I'm hearing that they're going to send them to the Sudan. Yeah. What do y'all think about that? When Spirit Ramaphosa, he came over here, he held his own. He said he did not have a jet to get a president, but he had the facts with him, and he had some other people with him, and some other white dignitaries with him to let him know, like, these other white people saying that there's not white genocide going on. So what do y'all make of all of that? I don't think we should be getting into the business, whatever they doing over there in them other countries, because you don't get into the business to help any other. What about Cameroon? What about other parts of Africa? You're not into that business. Why are you getting into South Africa's business? That's just me. I'm just thinking out loud. Do y'all have a thought on that, Dr. Lady J?
that. I haven't watched that. Um, but what I
Yeah, I
will
haven't
say is,
either. So that's why I
yeah,
didn't wasn't
what I
saying
will
anything.
say is this: we got enough going on in Baltimore City. So looking outside of the city and stuff, you know, when I see people in the city protesting for
What's
something
up?
that
What's up,
happened
Josh?
over in some other state or country, I'm like, y'all live here, y'all don't even protest here in the city. We got children dying every day, getting locked up, all kinds of
Mm.
stuff. And you protesting for something that happened over in Detroit. What about the people that's here? You know? So I feel like we have to learn how to take care of home. That's the one thing we don't do well. We don't do that well. We don't take care of
I
home.
can see that.
But you know,
That's
that's
my
America's
opinion.
favorite thing, to go over another country and try to subdue it and bring it under its rule, sort of kind of speak, making allies and all of that stuff. Um, I don't think we should let them in, because it's like they said, they had the 50 South African farmers is saying they running from a genocide. Ain't no way. Now you know doggone well. Just think about it, that they're doing a genocide over there in South Africa. Um, what about when they was over there killing people by the drones, locking people up by the drone? What about when they was the real genocide? Was the Hutu and the Tutsis? What about that? America did not, UN did not get involved. But now that it's a different color that's allegedly being slain or being vanquished, or whatever, however you want to call it, or unalived or whatever, is a different color. Then now here come the cavalry. Still foreign business. To me, I don't think we should get into too much of it. Like you said, we got enough of it here, and the foreign business come over here, just like those two people that got shot
What's up,
yesterday.
Josh?
Uh, the guy came in and just opened up fire on them. We got too many hot live wires over here that we need to actually clean up and take care of right here in our own backyard in
So can I ask you
Baltimore.
a question?
Yes,
Can
yes,
I
sir.
ask what's on your mind about it? Because I mean, I don't really look. I like to look at what's going on closer, kind of like Dr. Lady J was saying. Like I like to look at what's closer to home. I'd rather be checking and making sure like my neighborhood first of all is straight before I worry about what's up the block. Before I worry about
Yeah.
what's in
Right.
Florida. Before I worry about what's in Africa. Before I worry about the world. I'd rather like
Hmm.
work my way up. So what made you bring this up? Like what about this is concerning to you or whatever?
This the same thing that's on your mind. Same thing that y'all just said. Here they are spending thousands and thousands of tax dollars to
Oh, y'all was
handle
talking about that yesterday?
another,
Because I
for
went on
another
yesterday like that.
country.
Were you guys discussing that yesterday?
Nah, she was just saying. She's saying she
No,
agreed
since
with
they had
y'all.
the meeting
She's trying
yesterday at
to
the
figure
White
out
House.
why
Spirit,
they
yeah.
doing the same shit too. And Trey want to know why you so interested in it.
Yeah, because I didn't say that. That's why I was wondering who said it. I didn't know if somebody.
I
I
just know South Africa only own 4% of their own land, despite that they 80% of them is the population. The rest of these people is people from other countries that's buying up private land, and most of it is from white people. So you got mostly 80% black people there in the whole South Africa, and they don't own anything. Only 4% of them got some type of ownership, and I'm pretty sure they probably got some white ties with it. So, and me, I just look back and I'm like, this power, this just them fighting over land as usual. It ain't nothing that we can do about it, but they try to use the people to get certain people votes and get certain people in to do certain things. So I just ignore it. I just pray that South Africa will be okay. Whatever they got
See,
going on, hopefully they can get their country back somehow. But right now, they don't own anything in America and all these other countries. They like to get in these other small countries so they can have other landmarks. So if they do get into war,
What's up,
we can
Ronald?
set up a station from South Africa. We can set up a station from Panama. Any place that we go over and we do business with or we help them, at war, anything, we become friends and we find ways to utilize with each other. So I think America help anybody around the world. They find a way that they can benefit from it and set up shop where they can actually have a Navy base or Army base there that if things go south, you can't get close to America because we too close to you. So if you try to fly to America and do anything before you even get over here, we already done shot off 8 bombs from 10 different directions. So that's how I look at it. It's war techniques. That's how I
the
look at it.
way Can I speak? Am I? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go
Yes.
ahead.
Yeah.
See, my perspectives, they really countercultural, right? And the reason I say that, first of all, they people do stuff dirty and they call it clean. Like when America took stuff from the Indians, they said they doing this to them. They objectify Hispanics. They taking our job. You gotta objectify humanity. That way you can mistreat them. No, they're not going through genocide over there, right? No, but so and then also the other thing is this. I tend to do things from a more godly perspective. I ask myself, I say, do God care about them? Yeah, and care about all of us, right? So if He care, I care, and that's the premise of how I do, right? Like sometimes I notice this with a lot of Caucasians, they lose humanity when they see a black dude getting shot by the police, but when it's their white kid, they don't. And so I don't want to share that perspective. Like just because it's not happening to me or my family or where I live, that's a human being over there, right? So and that's the perspective I choose to think, and I don't look at things like a either or. I got to support one and can't support the other, right? I tend to look at things as a and but with a comma versus it's either or, man. And that's the perspective I choose, man. Them peoples over there, just like peoples in Gaza and the people in Israel, right? And like so, and I care about. I'm a Baltimore dude, and I care about where I live, my family first, and those outside. You know what I'm saying? But man, at this point, I don't want to see nobody suffering. Men, women, wherever you from, man. And I could pray for them just like I could pray for someone here. And just my assignment is different than theirs, man. But no, man, I just tend to see that, man. It's just we lost sensitivity. These is human beings. If it was my sister, my brother, I would hurt, but we don't tend to look at them like that. But I know through God, that's God, my sister and brother. And social justice, injustice anywhere is social injustice everywhere. Those are my perspectives, right? And that's just the perspectives and everybody don't have to see things the same way. And it ain't no right or wrong. It's because somebody sees things different. It takes a collective of different perspectives to see stuff. But that's just mine.
And I get what you're saying, but my thing is this: you can't how you if you don't take care of home, how you gonna go across the country and take care of somewhere else every single day? I'm out here fighting for, and helping, especially black men and black
Hmm.
boys out here getting incarcerated for crimes they didn't commit, racial profiling, all kinds of stuff. And that's never, it's not talked about. Nobody's fighting, or very, I'm not going to say nobody. Very few people are fighting. I'll put it like this: it's not anything that you see up on the news every day. And so for me, while I feel bad that these people are suffering and whatever it is they're going through, our people over here suffering. And we got black men and boys and women over here. But, I really look, I work with a lot of black men, and my son is 29. And so, the fear is always, one of these men could be my son. And so when we talk about fighting for the rights of others, we got stuff going on here in the US. And everybody's so up in arms about Palestine and all these other places. Look at what's going on over here. If you could go where I go and see the amount of people that's incarcerated and getting sentences, way harsher sentences because of the color of their skin, and the same, some other, ethnic group could go in there and get a slap on the wrist. Like, yeah, I hear what everybody is saying, but for me, I'm focused on here. I'm focused on home. And when they take care of home, and when they make sure that my black son is safe, then I can look at other countries. But until then, my fight is over here. I pray
I feel
for them. I'm sorry that they going through whatever they going through, but over here we're still, nothing has changed, y'all. Ain't nothing changed. The same thing they was doing, the lynching, the killing, the setting up, all of this stuff. The same stuff is going on right now that was going on years ago when our parents were children. The only difference now is that we have cell phones, we got social media to put people on blast. The same exact thing is going on. So when does it change? And we
Yeah.
keep going to other countries fighting and want to protest and do this for all this other kind of stuff. But we got this going on in our community. And we got brothers sitting in prison and we got children with no parent, no father in the house. You know? And I'm telling you that it's a lot of brothers and sisters sitting in prison who are not supposed to be there. One
Hmm.
of them I'm getting ready to go and meet as soon as this podcast is over because he was set up for a whole year. And yesterday, as soon as the judge looked at the case for the trial that was supposed to start yesterday, the judge threw the case out. And this young man is 26, been sitting for a whole year, never been in trouble. And so, it's a lot going on that we got to fight for over here. Don't get me started on that one. Let me be quiet. Because don't get me started on that one. Yeah.
You're
No,
right.
see, you're exactly right. And this is my point. Okay, let me give y'all the lowdown. President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, came over here to meet with President Donald Trump to let him know that that is not true. There's not a genocide of white people going on over there in South Africa. So them 50 people that they fled, that they spent tax dollars money to extract from out of South Africa, running over here, that's a false. He's letting them know and letting the world know there's nothing like that going on. And yes, they are fighting. The civilians are fighting each other, but just as many black people got hurt as it is white. It was there is not a genocide going on, and and Trump is getting involved in that. I'm thinking we got taxpayer dollars. You about to cut Medicaid, so them taxpayer dollars that you doing all this flying and then catering to these people, and you about to cut Medicaid is something that people need. You about to cut food stamps and medical help, but you can find money in the budget to fly people here and there and take care of other people. Make that make sense to me. That's all I'm saying. Forget what's going on over here. Stop cutting our food stamps. Stop cutting our Medicaid. The people that really need it are here. You talking about genocide? Going to any neighborhood here when people are struggling to eat, when people are struggling to get clothes, when people are struggling to get medicine, people are struggling to have a roof over their house. Ain't that genocide? Come
See,
on.
I
But at
look
what
at it.
point, I was
I
gonna say at
think
what
that.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, but at what point did we think that this man was for us and he was gonna make sure that we had
I mean,
everything that we needed?
that's what I stay
You
on. So
know,
I don't know. You know.
at what point? So for me, I don't even talk about him because and there was a lot of us, and I know that there was a lot of us because I work in media and I covered a lot of the events, a whole bunch
Hmm.
of them,
That
and there
rocked
was a
with him.
lot of us that voted for him. I got the footage, the pictures, and so sometimes when you do stupid stuff, you get stupid results. And unfortunately, those of us, that weren't behind all of that, we have to suffer for it. But we still got some people, they had those people in the plantation that, you would be out there working and doing minding your business, and they was out there being nosy and going in there and telling the slave master everything that you was doing. We still got them people here
Hmm.
today, and so they still got to run and still believe and know that somebody you see somebody. Some of this man got 30 something felonies, but in your head, sometimes somewhere you still can comprehend that he can be the president of the United States and he's going to do great things for you. Come on now. So he some people just have slow moments. I'm sorry. I don't know what world they live in, what they're looking for. But when we can't say the white people put him in office, a lot of us put him in office. And I
Hmm.
was there and I covered the inauguration. And a lot of us was there. So,
We'll put him off. It was
unfortunately,
the Hispanic vote that was the Latino vote. That's what got him over. As soon as they got over, where they get deported,
When
they
can we get
couldn't
on?
come in for the
When
vote.
can we get on each other instead of worrying about anybody who we know don't give a fuck?
exactly,
I just don't
exactly.
understand how we keep following history. Like I
Mhm.
know y'all older than me, so y'all seen a lot more life or whatever than I have. Okay, that's cool. But at the same time, how do we follow history and realize the same people that did these things are the same people that are in power today's time, and we still look to them like they're supposed to, like Like something's like Doctor said, like something like Dr. J said, something's different.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's not. What do you think about your
Never changed.
timeline has changed? I don't understand why it's such a surprise to people that are older than me that have seen a lot more
Mm-hmm.
life than I have that still act like they don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
very like blindsided by my influences, which is older folks, the older generations above me, people that look like me, that act like they don't know that.
Well, sometimes people forget where they came from, and I see that a lot. Where a lot of people feel like they have arrived at a certain place in their life, and they want to be with the upper echelon, not understanding that a lot of these people that's up in the upper echelon don't even want you up there with them. You can
That's
arrive
right.
all you want to, but at the end of the day, your face is still black, and you still gonna be that N word whenever they feel like calling you that. And so that's the thing that people are not looking at. People forget where they came from, and we forget even when we do arrive or get degrees or whatever, we forget to reach back and teach and continue to teach and help other people to grow. That's why our community, is always in the background. But you look at other Asian communities, Chinese people, they talk about the Hispanic people, but I tell you what, when they come over to this country, they pile up in cars, they pile up in houses and live together. They build, they put their money together, they work. We don't trust each other enough to do that. Cause I'm so worried that if my sister right here got a podcast, I can't support her because I don't want her to get too many views. We do stupid stuff. We
Yeah,
think
that
we
type of
think
mentality, I
about,
understand.
yeah. And it's absolutely ridiculous. At the same time, we talk about we've grown and we've arrived, but still have the slave mentality. Ain't that what the slave masters told us to do? To fight against each other, not like each other, because one light, one dark. That's what they told us to do, and we're
Willie Lynch
continuing
theory.
the same thing. The same
Yeah,
thing.
That's right.
See,
We got
my
to deprogram. Go
the
ahead.
Willie Lynch theory.
my
Yeah.
Yes,
like I said,
exactly.
my perspectives, man. I realize they very different than a lot of us, but we each got our own, man. I think when you get to a point where, see, a lot of times we look at it right or wrong, my way or the other way, right? I think more collectively, right? Like, you know, just because someone has a different perspective, it doesn't make me right or make them wrong. It takes five fingers on the hand. I look at, so I
I think your mic went out.
Yo, you going out?
My probably
example.
call.
Uh,
Okay, you
I'm
back.
back in.
Say
I
that
use it.
again. Say
I
that
use
again.
it. I use this as an example, right? Like I
Lock it
don't
in.
think right or wrong. I don't think it has to be this way to get done, or I don't think that you know that I that it has to be a either or. Like I don't think like if I support home, then that means I don't support them. I don't think if I support comedians, that means I don't support DJs. I don't think if I support men, I don't support women. I support the homeless, right? I don't think that way. I don't think that it has to be an either or. And I think that's where we make our biggest mistake. It can be an and but. It doesn't have to be either or. And then I think I have a broader perspective based on my experiences. I've been all over the world, different cultures, right? And I have a spiritual perspective. And before I'm a black man, I'm a child of God. Before I'm a man, I'm a child of God. Before I'm a DJ, I'm a child of God. Meaning that I put that preeminent before I'm a Baltimore person. So my first order and my first protocol is I'm with God. And if God care about somebody, then I care. And that's the perspective that I choose to share, right? But I support women. I support DJ. I see this all the time with DJs and comedians. Comedians won't help the promoter. Promoter won't help their own men. I see this a lot with women. I support my sisters, but then I support you humans, right? And that's just my perspective, right? So, like, man, I don't want to see nobody suffer, right? I don't have to diminish another person's cause to exalt my own. Oh, a black man, but I could say, man, it's wrong for black men, it's wrong for women to get abused, and it's wrong for them people over Gaza to get killed. And I'm gonna pray for all of them. And that's just a view I share, man. Pain is pain, regardless of race, location, gender, and my pain ain't no more important or plight ain't no
Well,
more
can I
serious
ask
than
what you're
anyone
getting at?
else's.
can I ask you a question and ask where you're getting that vibe, impression, or whatever from? Like, is it somebody you
No,
had a conversation with that sentiment? Because
no,
you
I'm
said
just
it a
sharing
couple
my
times.
thoughts.
So I was just
Right.
okay. I was just wondering if
Could I
somebody
hear,
gave
because
you
when I
examples of
hear
it.
like when you say, well, I got to support home, you know what I'm saying? Ladies J, or then even Reese said, well, what about the black people here, right? What about the people? What I'm saying is I support all, right? I don't feel like I have to say that it's diminishing what I support by supporting another cause, right? And
No,
that's a
that doesn't
mind,
diminish.
right,
That doesn't
right.
diminish you being able to divide your energy between multiple sources or situations, or that doesn't divide it at all. But it's just, I think black people, uh, history shows that we can get over a lot and get past a lot, but I think we so eager to get past and get over that we are not applying the same energy towards ourselves. I think a lot of people
Based on what?
kind of generally have a big
You
heart,
got
which is
no
a thing.
statistical facts saying that. People say stuff, black people don't support it, but they have no statistical facts. That's just
Yeah,
something
Okay,
you
so
hear
I don't.
and you repeat it. Right? Now unless you come at me with some, I'm a businessman and I do business and analytics. So you basically
I know
I
what
could say,
analytics
well,
are. I'm
black people we
aware
don't
of
support ourselves.
analytics.
But
yeah,
I
I
don't
yeah.
got
didn't
nothing to
say
support that.
I didn't really actually finish. I didn't finish and didn't say we didn't support ourselves at all. Didn't say we can't divide. I clearly said what I said, but I didn't say that we don't or can't divide ourselves between. But I said we seem to have a big heart. History shows that we can get over and get past. But what I said was we seem to be so eager to get past that we don't. We got a lot of work to do. Not
Based
saying that
on
we
what?
can't
That's your
divide and
opinion? I mean, that's just what you're saying. There's no facts to that. That's just your perception.
Yeah, I
Right?
get
You
that.
say right. I mean, I'm just asking. I mean, where do you get? You just saying that just because you said don't mean it's right or it's facts. I could say we don't do this or we don't support each other, right? I'm just asking where you get that from.
life.
Yeah, yeah,
Life.
and
You're
that's
you,
what
My
people are
eyes,
saying.
my eyes, my observation, conversations, platforms,
right.
people, yeah, people like Dr. Joy, I forgot her last name. And I can pull a link up for that, that's fine. But there's plenty of like
Experience are limited.
black, yeah, I know.
Right.
But when you have
Experiences are
people that can
relative.
touch on, I mean, okay,
Right.
when you have people that can touch on different eras and people can come together and compare notes, compare information, show you your
Hmm.
timeline. I mean, our timeline is very clear. Um, you know, look at your timeline. Look at
Yeah,
America's timeline. Where did we get? Doesn't say we can't. We always been people to help other people, regardless. We all always been
yeah,
people in the face of adversity,
Says
slavery,
who?
whatever. Still made it as positive as it
That's
possibly
no
could.
information. That's false information based on who? No
Okay, but
facts.
I'm not a news reporter, so I don't have a laptop here to just pull up
Right.
links in every source that I
yeah. It
look at.
ain't
Right.
But
really
that's
a
not that it
debate,
can't be
though. That's what
presented.
it's saying. It ain't a debate. It's life experience. So, in your life trade, that's what you see. In your
Right.
perception, you think that this is what's going on in the world, and in Being
But it's
Man,
not
he's saying that
necessarily true.
that's
That's his
not true in
experience.
his world. In his world,
Right.
black people do help each other. They do support each other, and I feel the
Not
same
at
way. It
all. We
depends
know
on
what
your
we are, though.
perception, but we
I didn't
know
Right.
say
it's
that.
people that says that, oh, I don't get support. I don't get support. I just don't like that we try to make it a debate. If that's what Bean Man think, that's what he think. Bean Man Trey think motherfuckers out here ain't supporting each other. That's what he think, cause that's his perception. But I don't want to get lost. That's how what happens in our community that we can't have conversation because people want to win the conversation. Ain't nothing to
I'm
win.
not trying to
This,
win.
yeah, it's this
I'm just
your
trying to point
perception.
out to the brother that he
Yeah,
shouldn't say stuff. See, now I'm getting, because I speak strongly in my opinion. I'm just saying how I see it like he see it. I'm not trying to debate. I'm just saying, brother, I'm trying
yeah,
to elevate his thinking. Experiences are relative. I'm a very educated dude and I deal with people. Experience are relative. I shouldn't take a relative experience and make it a reality, right? I'm trying to help the dude, man. That's based on the experience, and your experience is
I
based
don't
on
need help.
what you,
I
right.
don't need help.
Oh, so then, okay, well, if you don't, brother, then fine. But all I'm saying, have the integrity. Like I can hear what you're saying and not get in my feelings. Just acknowledge what I'm saying. Just because we don't
I'm not in my
agree,
feelings.
well, just because we don't agree, don't mean we debating, man. This is how conversations and stuff
I don't know.
evolve,
I'm
man.
not sure why it's coming off as a debate when I'm asking you questions based off what you're saying. It's just open dialogue. So I don't never was offended or bothered or whatever. I'm just asking questions. I'm speaking
Right.
to
And
my
I'm
older
just responding.
generation. I have older
Right.
folks. Yeah, I mean that's all it ever was. So I don't know what started to change. I'm speaking to the older generations that are before me. What I see and
Okay.
don't see, that doesn't make it everyone else's reality. That doesn't. I mean, but my questions were
Yeah.
valid. What I was saying was still valid.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so what we have to learn, I just did a seminar on communication last week because this is Mental Health Awareness Month. And one of the things that we all have to do, and this is doesn't matter what color, what gender you are, and we have to learn how to listen. So a part of actively communicating is listening, and then we have to respect whatever the other person is saying. Whatever their opinion is their opinion, and they have a right to their opinion, and then we have a right to feel the way that we feel, and then we have to come together and respect one another. So a lot of times in our community, we on level 10 and level 1,000 anyway because of all the stuff that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And so it doesn't take much to kind of get some of us started sometimes. And I'm saying us because I'm one of those people. But
Mhm.
also the generations are different. And so each generation has their own way of thinking and processing stuff because of the era that they come from. And so, like I said, my son is 29, and the brother that was just speaking to B, man, he reminds me of my son so much when he's talking. He reminds me of my son so much. Um, you know, and sometimes, I really have to listen to my son sometimes because he will be talking and it's like I'm like, what did you say? Because sometimes it's like another language, like what? Or I have to really listen and understand what he's saying from what he sees that's happened in his generation. Like we've questioned, we had a conversation yesterday. I was on somebody's show and they were talking about women and how back in like my dad is 88, so back in his time how the women were very silent and they didn't say anything, and they called their husbands daddy, and his word was the final say, and they were just asking like why was it like that, but that was during that time and that was their generation. I come along and I question that because I'm not calling you daddy. I'm not gonna walk around and let you make all of the decisions, and not have a say. And so each generation is different and we just have to learn to respect each other, each other's opinion. And everybody is seeing what they see, through their eye because of what they've experienced in their lifetime and growing up. So, I just wanted to add that to it.
Yeah, and that's true. And that distance between 50 and 30, that the 20 years is a big gap. That's two whole decades of
Yeah,
different
yeah.
ways you process and stuff, and where we came from and where we've been. Like I tell my son's 32. I said, I am 53. I've been 32. Have you been 53? No, not yet. So you got to give that's some respect. Like, and what we gone through
Mm-hmm,
are different from different generations because what they're
mm-hmm,
facing, we didn't face that in our generation coming up. When I was 32, the economy wasn't like it is now, and the jobs wasn't like
mm-hmm.
this now. When I was 32, the government wasn't losing their jobs, Medicaid, all of that was
Right,
different. We
right.
have a different set of problems that 32-year-old today had versus when we was 32.
Mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm,
a different landscape, and we just got to know how to weather the terrain. Whether travel the land, and you got to do it together and in unison. And it's always
mm-hmm,
seems to be a breakdown with the older versus young. We need each other all together. Old, young, middle,
mm-hmm,
in between, and we are ever going to come together as a people, stick together, fight whatever it is that we oppressing us, whether it's over here in America, whether it's in South Africa or whatever. And that's where the breakdown comes because there's no networking. We don't stick together as people.
Yeah.
That's when you
and we
see
don't
other
we don't
races or
talk.
groups.
Yeah, we don't talk, and we don't communicate as we should. And then somebody put a comment, Scott, I think it's Setchel. He said we all have our experiences which forms our opinions and perception can be reality in many cases, and that is that's that person's reality. You know,
Is
what the way my 29-year-old thinks, that's his reality because he was born in 1996. So his reality is what he's seen from 1996 up to 2025. And I can't say to my son, you know, oh, well, you ain't right and you wrong for thinking
Right.
that. No, that's his reality. That's how he sees life. I'm different. I'm 62, you know. So I'm looking at life, but at the same time, I've learned how to listen at what people say and respect what they say and honor what they say because that is their opinion. And we have to allow people to have their opinion without getting into an argument or this and that and a tit for tat. That's been a problem in our community as well because everybody got to prove that their point is right. Ain't nobody right. That's your opinion. That's how you see it. That's what you think. How can we come together after we express how we feel? How can we come together to go back to your question? Because sometimes we forget what the conversation was about. Because now everybody's debating their opinion. So how can we come back to your question and talk about how we can help? You know, that's the thing we have to learn. Have healthy communications, healthy disagreements, even healthy arguments would be able to come back, circle back and have come to a decision. Well, you know, how can we help? Okay, you're 29, I'm 62, you're 50. How can we come together? It ain't about my experience, what we've been through. How can we come together? What are your gifts and talents that's going to help in this situation? What are my gifts and talents? How can we bring all of those together and work on this situation? That's how we're supposed to communicate. And unfortunately, in our community, we haven't been taught that. And so we have to learn that it's okay to agree to disagree, but then circle back and come back and let's finish that conversation and talk about how we're going to help.
Right.
yeah.
That's what Molly. I think that's what was that what you was
Yeah,
trying
I
to
was
say,
trying
Molly?
to say, because I know Bean Man was, y'all older than us. So a lot of times we hear a lot of older people say the opposite of what he was saying, so him say like that's your perception, that's from based off your experience. And then Trey telling him his experience basically, he's saying, well, that's not true. That's why I'm like, no, 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 look, that is true. That's his
That's
experience.
his.
So
Right.
whatever his experience was, like I tell all the time, if me and a person go outside and I say it's cold, and they like shit, it ain't that cold to me. I'm happy. That it's cold. To me, it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
In my world,
Right.
my reality is fucking cold. It don't matter how old or it's just we have different experience. Some people grow up in different areas with nothing wrong happening. They got white friends and black people just got it going good. And so in they eyes, they don't when Trey mentioned some of them things, they like, well, I don't know. I don't see that where I'm from. So that make it not true.
I'm
No, that
tired
don't
of
make it
older
not
folks
true.
with
That just make it not
statistics.
true to your perception and your reality. So that's what
We
I just
keep
wanted to
talking
get to,
about
that people had different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
conversation and how can we do it, but I was asking questions, and we don't call for statistics on something until we want to prove it's wrong.
Yeah.
We don't call for statistics until we want to say, oh, that's not true. That's not. There's a lot of statistics that we could be pulling up on a lot that would show us a lot of work that we actually do need to put in. That's everyone's timeline. The stuff that I was speaking on wasn't talking about, I don't know, when Aaliyah died or something that was of my generation. When left, I'm not talking about nothing specific. Look at the news. Look at whatever source you want to look at and see what's going on. Look at the prices at the shelf on the grocery store. Look at what the public, everyone conversation is, not my generation. When I'm speaking to an older person, they always dismiss me, my family included. They always want to shut me down, and I got to find and pull up source. I don't have a laptop next to me. I'm on my cell phone. Why do I like in this moment in time for the conversation or my opinion to be valid? Why would I need to pull up links or show you? I have plenty of doctors and educators of different eras and times and generations that can speak on their generation, that have people they can compile together to speak on their generation. If like I said the first time when my statements was questioned, what I said was 100% valid, which is we have a big
Mm-hmm.
heart. History shows we have a big heart. Where black people can get past things. We will, sweep things under the rug just to move forward. Black people are itching to move forward. Black people are itching to move past all of this race stuff and all of this and just live and thrive and work and have money to pass down to your kids. But every time I speak to an older person, I just acknowledge the fact that I have a chance to speak and have this conversation with 3 different people on this platform that are older than me. But when I try to ask a question, it gets down. So we can't ask that and then handle it a certain way. I didn't wasn't forcing my opinion. I was asking him, what do you mean? Because he kept saying like 3 or 4 times, it's not a separate thing. Who Nobody said that we can't divide ourselves between us and the other entities and still get and be of service. No one said that. So I don't want to paint
Yeah,
that image and put that on a public platform like that's that. But I'm
yeah, because
done.
he was
That's all
trying
I
to get to the point. He was trying to get to the point that every time you said that we was peaceful, we found ways to get over things. That it's history. That it's plenty of stories that we didn't get over things. We didn't just leave peacefully. Like that's the stories that they push out there and that we read and we pass down to our kids. But it's people who died to be free. It's people who fought back that killed the slaves masters and did all type of things. Them the story don't talk about. So when they say we just peacefully got forgave and got over it, no, we still ain't over it. That's why we bring it up over and over. But in some people's perception, they see Martin Luther King walking and we peacefully just turn our head. But you see Malcolm X fight back. So it depends on that person's perception. Some people do see that, hey, yeah, we tend to get over things a lot and we move on. That's what I see. For me, growing up, it seemed like we just let them fuck us over and we forgive them and we constantly do it and do it again. But I didn't know there was people at them times fighting. Like how me and people fight today. I didn't know it was kids back then, like Hugh Newton and them that was 19, 20, starting movements fighting back. I didn't know that. But now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to learn them things. That's because the people that was older than me always just told me how we were slaves, how we got beat down. And they're the same story. They didn't tell me stories before we were slaves. Nobody do. They just stuck right there. Yeah, well, that's slave this and slave master this. And well, it was people before that too. And they was something to talk about. Them the people I like to talk about. Let's get back to our people,
What's up,
our
thank you.
roots. That's what we get away from, So I get what B-Man was saying, but from us growing up young, that's where our older generation put in our brain over and over. In the schools, they told us this where we come from, this who we are. And it took for us to actually start to research for self to start to hear some of these things. So I get where he's coming from, but this our reality. So it is true.
And thank you for saying that because that is your reality. And that's what we have to respect. We have to respect your reality. We have to respect your journey in life that you've taken. And I just want to say to anybody that's older, especially people my age, shut up. Shut up, listen, let them talk. We are here. We've experienced a lot in life. And so it's our turn to teach. My parents, my dad is 88. My mom passed away a few months ago. She was 82, 85. And my parents were very silent about, I don't know much about my dad's background. That generation is called the silent generation. And they're called the silent generation for a reason because they didn't talk about nothing. They swept everything under the rug and they had the same kind of stuff going on that we have going on now, infidelity, domestic violence, men going to prison. They had all of that stuff going on, but they didn't talk about it. And then me growing up, all I could hear about was the little fun stuff they did. No, I wouldn't hear about my great-great-grandmother that was a slave. My mother hated talking about that. So I had to go and do the research on that. That's a part of my history. But my mother didn't want to talk about it. And so as we get older, we have to learn that it's okay to talk about our pain. It's okay to talk about our suffering. It's okay to be open with the younger generation and let them know that we messed up and we are messed up. We've done some stuff that ain't right. We've done some stuff that we should be locked up for. And we need to keep it real and stop pretending that, we know it all. Like I said, I'm 62. I don't know it all. I don't know half of everything. I'm learning every single day. I'm open enough to say that. And I'm also open to listening because as I listen to my son who's 29, he'll tell me how to do something. And I'm like, you know what, that makes sense because I'm doing it the hard way. Or when I started my business, I was thinking with my heart and not my head. And my son had to explain to me, Mom, people want to take advantage of you because you're doing everything with your heart. I didn't listen. And what happened? If
You got
people
to take
did not
advantage
kick me
of
up the behind over and over again,
it.
and I had to turn around and say to my son, you know what? You were right. So
Yep.
sometimes we have to listen to the younger generation. It don't take nothing to just shut your mouth up and listen. And I'm not talking about anybody on the panel. I'm talking to anybody that's my age or you and your, I'm gonna say 40 and up. Shut up sometimes. Listen to what the young people are saying. Allow them to speak. And this is why a lot of times there's a disconnect in the home, in the churches, because they feel like they're not being heard. If we want to be heard, think about the fact that they want to be heard as well. So sometimes you got to just be quiet. And it's okay to be quiet because sometimes the stuff to come out of older people's mouth is ridiculous. And I say that to them, what are you talking about? They be saying, well, we did. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Because I was back there. So some of the stuff they talk about, no, we didn't. And so we gotta keep it real. And that's what I love about our generation now. They are so real, so transparent. And that's how we have to learn how to be. But again, to anybody that's younger than I'm going to say 40, we were taught to at whatever goes on in the house stays in the house. And so we've
Family
learned how to
business.
be quiet. We've learned how to lie. We've learned how to pretend, all those things because we try to keep up with what we were told. And I myself had to break that mold when I was in my, late 20s that no, whatever goes on in the house, don't stay in the house. Some things you got to talk about so you can get help. And so
Josh
this is
said,
what we have to
Miss
learn how to
Dr.
do.
J, Josh said that he said show proof. He doesn't believe that you're 62.
Oh
I
yeah, I'm
thought you was like,
62.
honestly, I
Thank
thought you was
you.
like 40 something, like my mom's age. I really thought you was
a
like,
lot of people
yeah,
a lot of people think that I am definitely 62. I was born February 26, 1963.
I'm February
And
20th.
I
Yeah.
yeah, and I thank God for my genes because the women in my family all look at least 10 to 20 years younger than their age. Even my mom, she was 85 when she passed away, but my mom could probably pass for about 60. So
Yeah.
I just thank God for my genes
I
and
ain't
for
want
good
to throw
health,
you off the
you know?
subject. I just wanted to throw that in. I was thinking the same thing when you said 62. I ain't want to throw you off the subject, though. My
But
bad.
while
No,
y'all
62.
in there talking about
Thank
how
you though.
good she looked, let me talk about what LA Josh Preston said. He said, my daughter's school is talking about the Black Panthers. He said, I had to make sure that they weren't calling them communists. I explained how they help Black people bear arms and how Black people help each other and didn't have to rely on other people. Now, that's it in a nutshell right there. How because they saw a need in the community, they saw kids not getting fed, they saw a lack of education, they saw lack of pride and respect, and they saw it and they met the need. See, these was people that was like, you know what, I see a need, and it started with their own community. Same thing with the Bloods and the Crips. They started in their own
Mhm.
backyard, helping what they can, helping their hood. It started one neighborhood at a time, and look how it caught fire. But see, but the other powers that be didn't want it to be like that. Because they would have lost control of certain sad population. So they had to think of a way where they had the people running back to them. See, the Black Panthers had it set up that you were self-contained. It reminds me of China. We got a Chinatown in every neighborhood, but you don't hear about Chinatown getting all out of hand and gang banging as much because they seem to be self-contained. Yes, they're Chinese American. They're over here in America, but these communities still are tight, network, and self-contained. You know
Mhm.
what I mean when I'm saying that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we could do the same thing. Like I said, we just don't trust each other enough to do that. We
Because there's
can, we
always
can,
one
yeah.
that
It's
that
it's
you know.
you know, and it's sad, but you get to the point where you find your tribe, and you hang with your tribe and you support who you can, and those that you can't, you just leave it alone. It's not our job to try to convert and change people. I think we're coming along slowly. What I do believe is that this generation that we have now, we're going to see a lot of changes because they're entrepreneurs. They think on their feet, and so it's going to be a lot different from our generation. that we just don't trust each other. We will put our money in somebody else's hand and in their bank, but we won't go to a black bank. And we'll give 1,000 excuses of why we can't put our money into a black bank. The first one is, they gonna go steal our money. That's the first thing. And so, it's just so like when I think about the years, and slavery really wasn't that long ago when you think about it. But when I think about all of the things that our ancestors went through and they fought for, and I'm thinking, would they really want us to be thinking like this or acting like this towards one another? These people were whipped, beaten, lynched, raped, all kinds of stuff for us to still be doing the same stupid stuff in 2025, And
I
so
see y'all
it's
comment.
something to really think about. Yeah, it's something to really think about.
You're right though. You're 100% right.
Yeah, we got to do better. We have to do better, and we have way more opportunities than they did, and they managed to come together, work together, escape. With Harriet Tubman taking them, they're escaping. They had ways of, doing things where they really came together for their cause and what they needed to do, and we don't do that now. We get our education. Not everybody, but people get their education. They move out of the neighborhood. They keep it moving. Don't even look back. So how do we help those that are behind us? And how do we show them that it's possible to get out of this neighborhood and come live out where I'm living at? How do we do
Open
that?
dialogue.
Yeah, open dialogue,
Really?
exactly, and
Open
going back
dialogue.
into the community. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, going back into the community.
Yeah.
It
You
takes
know,
just a conversation. Oh, what was you saying, man?
exactly.
She said going back into the community, and that's what's crazy. That's what we did yesterday, And my nephew, he been blowing up with his music. He do singing. He had a song with the guy from like Tennessee that flew down here. That he a big time artist too. He on tour down here, and they did a music video back in front of the house that we grew up in. So he's like, we're gonna shoot a
Mm-hmm.
documentary. So he posted. He's like, yeah, we're gonna be here
Mm-hmm.
3 to 6 o'clock. We out there shooting a video. We turn around. The police is busting everybody windows outside this park. Not only they
Mm.
busting, they popping their cars going. I'm talking about mothers, fathers, residents, everybody. It ain't matter. And they say they legally can do it. Like we was out there record. I'm gonna share a video, y'all, just to show y'all a little bit of what we deal with where I grew
What
up
the
at.
reality
Wow.
may be for
Yeah.
some people.
Yeah, that's my reality. So when people saying, "Well, the police not that bad," and they don't do, no, they don't give a fuck where I come from. This is how
Mm-hmm.
they treat us, like every day. It ain't
And
no.
literally just checking their shit. No probable cause or nothing. They fake calling dogs, the dogs fake sniff some shit. What happens when they don't find them? They just bust through his window, yeah. They literally just bust in his shit. They bust his window. Yeah. Cause they trying to stir some dumb shit up. No, this public property, y'all got us fucked up. Y'all know y'all wrong, man. Y'all know y'all wrong, man. Y'all doing too much. Get the fuck out of this car, man. Why is he in this car? Who gave you the right to go in this man's car? Man, just keep recording these people, man. I need all y'all names and badges now, man. Y'all supposed to work for us, but y'all constantly doing dumb shit. Yeah, the citizens. Y'all do work for citizens. Bitch ass. Yeah, y'all do. Say that. Go ahead and say that on live. You don't work for the city. Yeah, I'm a resident. We all residents. We all residents. We all residents. Don't worry about it. Give us your name and badges. No, y'all don't even know the fucking law. Y'all the law, but don't know the law. You can't just bust in people's cars and busting their shit. That's impossible. Man, working, man. Man, doing the job. Y'all been trying to start shit the whole time y'all been out here, man. Y'all motherfuckers, man.
Give me one. Give me one.
Hey, man. Look at this one. They just literally just lost. He just breaking in people's cars. Like this legal now. I think they think we in the hood, we don't know the law. Everybody out here, damn, they went to college. Everybody out here got degrees and everything. We not stupid. We got businesses and everything. We out here working. We can't even work without getting a raise. Anybody.
That was deep.
That
That's
was
deep,
reality.
Marley. And that was
So
real.
sad.
And he footage
So
he
sad.
shot there yesterday. Was that Molly? Was that his voice?
Sounded
Molly,
like
it sounded like Molly going up. Molly, was that you?
Yeah, I don't really yell that much or be mad, but that's how I sound when I get mad.
oh, I ain't never heard that shit before.
Look,
Mm.
Not funny,
said,
but I
look,
just never heard you get like
like I said, people be trying to wake sleeping dragons. You don't want to wake when people are quiet and don't want it. Don't get in that smoke.
Kids out there though, we got a cookout. Kids out there, they giving out free bites. The DJ game, they was sitting out there parked at first, and then the minute people started to show up to get the prize, the food and stuff, they just started getting out their cars, walking around just harassing people. Then they had some random dude walk past. They tackled him. He had a gun. We ain't know this nigga. Some nigga they just planted around there. Everybody like we don't know him. So they try to make that a reason to try to press everybody out, but we just kept doing what we was doing. And then eventually shooting a video, we look back, all we hear is psh, psh. They just busting people windows and they got K9s and stuff just going up and down the block, just popping in people's cars, looking at them. I say, man, that's crazy. We had to stop and start recording them. But they was everywhere. That's just the backside. It was 20 more on the front side, on the side. They was everywhere. I'm like, damn, where's y'all? Like it's a lot of crime here in DC Southeast. If you need the police, they all around here. You know,
they need to go find it. That's why they can't help the people get shot up on the sidewalk by the school where the people running track at because they're so busy where they shouldn't be, where a peaceful video shoot or whatever is going on. They at the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't know what their directive is, but they need to get it fixed. But we've given them the DC government, isn't it? Like, didn't they pass something that the officers can do that? What they trying to pass?
Yeah, as long as it looks suspicious or something like that. I'm like every cow here looks suspicious, huh?
Every look, you gonna look suspicious because you got dreads. You gonna look suspicious because you're black. You gonna look suspicious.
Yeah, but I'm the same people y'all voting in that motherfucker. That's why I don't vote. I don't vote. I don't think any of that changes anything. I think if we all don't vote and we all decide to stick together and do something together, it'll work. But whenever we do something, they put somebody in office and people like, yeah, that's my girl, the mayor. She's the first black woman. She gay and all. I don't care about none of that because the first thing she did was she got in and she gave the police more power to do shit like this. That don't help us. I don't care if she black. I'd rather put some white person in if they're not going to do this. But people look at race and think, oh, because that person black, they're going to do better for us. But she made things worse. You can't even do nothing for the kids.
Black. I saw a lot of
them, half of them. They
was doing the same thing. So it's not that part is not a white or black thing. It's the authoritative thing. And they think that because you in Southeast,
everybody call AQ.
That's you that because you over there in Southeast, they think you in the neighborhood, like you said, they think you poor, black, and dumb, that you didn't know no better. And I'm glad you told them that everybody out here went to college. Like they got the wrong set of kids.
Yeah, permit to shoot. We had our license to show them everything. We did that. They still were just trying to find a reason. Like, what's y'all next reason? They just
I'd be lawsuit, break my window, lawsuit. Which we should break it, and then you go in the car. Isn't that unlawful entry? But you got to give them permission to search your stuff.
They ain't find nothing. They broke all the cars.
You got to throw it out anyway.
Only person they locked up was the one person they dropped off to walk through there. Nobody knew that kid. You know, I was like, come on, this dude don't even look like you from around here. He don't even dress like us, talk like us. And we from a neighborhood. You can't just be a random dude that just hanging around our neighborhood and people know not just walk through that neighborhood like that. You know, that's just weird, you know, but you can't trust the police, man. I don't trust them at all. I know that we need them sometimes when and all cops not bad. And that's what make it bad for the good cops, motherfuckers like them.
Exactly.
That's right. Like all black people, not hood. And it makes it bad for, nothing. It's just a couple of two.
That's what I
And
was
they
laughing
press
at. I
over
told
to
Josh to
make
shut
it
up.
bad for the
Nigga
rest
said
of
we
them.
got rice. I
I
was
just
just
wanted
saying,
to
Josh always got
commend.
flips and spin
Yeah.
into something else. That's why
was
Go
that
ahead,
Doc?
I told him to
Dr.
shut up.
J. Dr. J, what you
No,
say?
I said I wanted to commend them on how they handled everything because what was happening there is that they were trying to incite some type of violence, and they
Mm-hmm.
wanted those young men to act up and act crazy. And the moment one of them would have raised their hand or charged towards them, they would have got locked up,
That'd have been
and
little
it's
Babe Ruth.
unfortunate because this is how a lot of our young men get in trouble because they're not doing anything. They're standing up for their rights. They're being told, get out your car. Well, officer, why do I need to get out of my car? What did I do? I don't need to tell you what you did. Get out of your car. Yes, you do need to tell me what I did.
That,
And so
Yeah, exactly.
what they were doing that day was trying to incite some type of violence, for it to take place so they could throw them in the police car. So I just want to commend them for standing up for their rights and for doing it in a way that the police couldn't say that they tried to hit us. They were being rude or disrespectful. They couldn't do anything to them. And so now you go and you break my car windows. Now that's gonna piss me off. And I'm not that age because you have no business. I'm paying for a car and you gonna go bust my car windows and I'm not doing anything to you. And that'll piss anybody off. And so the thing is they were doing certain things that day to really get to them. And then when you have nothing and when you can't get anything started, then you walk away. And that's not right. That's not right. And those are the things when I talk about us going out fighting, let's fight for stuff like that. Those are the things we need to, when we see videos like that, we need to come together and talk about it, get a group together, and we need to go wherever we need to go to make a complaint because our young men are out there doing something positive and you decided to come out and mess with them. Now you gotta tell us why you decided to do that. With all the crime going on in DC, you gotta come over here and full
Mm-hmm.
force. For what? For what? What made you come over? So that's when I talk about coming together. That's what I'm talking about. Fighting for the rights of my people. That's what I'm gonna fight for. All the people over in the other countries, God bless you. But I'm fighting for the people, the men and women that's over here. And when we finish fighting over here, then I can go help over there. I can't even get a plane ticket over there because I can't afford it right now.
So
So I'm gonna
Casey,
fight
not
for
unless
over
free
here.
rides for
You know,
over 50 people, and that's taxpayer money. That's our dollars that pay for their ride.
listen,
You can't get you a
yes,
ride because you can't afford it, but
no,
take your tax dollars, the same
and
money
they
that you
can
pay
go
Yeah.
right.
interest to do
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Thank you
And,
for
and
the
then,
pre-
and then our tax dollars
previous
pay
comments.
for us being harassed like that. That
Yeah.
reminded me of I wasn't in the generation that's coming up now, and I wasn't in the civil rights generation. I was the one that was in between then and now,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't do protests because we wasn't faced with it like that, like sit-ins like they did in Martin Luther King times, and those people just sitting there and got beat on. Now it's like as long as they don't beat on us, we don't beat on them. But they try to use their power, the authority that they have that is put on them by the state or their jurisdiction
Mm-hmm.
to try to antagonize you so you can, raise up. Because they wanted somebody to do
Thank y'all
that.
for all your
But
comments too.
Molly was yelling the right stuff. What's your badge number? We want all of your badge numbers. Somebody,
Exactly.
I've been standing there writing down, I can't hardly see, but I've been writing in the braille, mascara, lipstick,
Mm-hmm.
some numbers down because all of them
Mm-hmm.
need to go down there and press charges.
Mm-hmm.
Because they was doing a video shoot. That cost time and money. You will pay for that
Right.
time and money that y'all interrupted my video shoot. You gonna pay for these
Mm.
actors and actors that I got because we have to pay them because I got to pay them. That's the video shoot. That's money being wasted. And you busting people windows unlawfully. That's the people. I be all types of stuff will be held against all 50 of them officers. How many officers was it? There was like 10 out there that looked like it was like 10 of them. And then you said another 20 was in the front. What was now, I can imagine what was the people in the front doing? The same thing.
It was absolutely ridiculous, and the things that
And that need to
and
be
I
on
don't,
the news.
yeah,
That need to be on the
exactly,
news what
I
happened
ain't
to them.
even
exactly,
posted.
right.
First time y'all seen it for anybody. I just record it. Like I be recording a lot of stuff I just don't post, because they be
Yeah,
on my
that
line. They start suspending my account and then I can't get online no more because it got too many views. But I have it in my phone. I send it to y'all. If
yeah,
it's
and
something y'all might
I'll
want
be
to see.
sending it to my
Yes,
girls
please
We
send it to
need
me.
in
what
the
we
news.
need
Send it to me.
is an
Yeah,
NBC.
alias, or
I
no, not
got
alias. I'm sorry, anonymous posting type joint where if it's going on in your area, put it up. But in a way that can be
Mm-hmm.
formulated, and I ain't gonna say too much on the live stream about it anyway. But have a formula for that so that you can put out news that's not news.
True. That's
Because
true. Yeah.
we see in
Yeah.
today's time, we are our own news, and people can say so much shit about TikTok and all that. But like I was saying, people that want to ramble about random stuff like the Diddy case or whatever, I'm gonna at least point you to somebody I know that's standing outside the courthouse that goes in there to take notes. Somebody that's on the live stream, so
Mm-hmm.
people can say shit about certain
Mm-hmm.
platforms. But there's a lot of people that do a lot of work to make sure that you're getting the best, credible, factual information that you possibly can be shared. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we can start something. We talking about it, but we can start something too. Cause, you know, I didn't know nothing about that, and nor will I ever. It wouldn't be on Newsbreak because it's not reported.
Yeah,
You know?
they're not going to talk about it, but
Yeah.
they're quick to put our especially our young black men in front of the screen when they doing something wrong or when they caught up or they quick to do that. But they would never going to say, oh, these young men were out there doing a music video, talking about it in a positive way. That's not going to happen. And that's where our community has to come in. And our community has to be the one to step up and say, hey, in DC, Southeast DC today, this is what happened, or this is what's going on. We got to be the ones to promote that, and we don't. We don't. We keep, and I'm not with all of the Martin Luther King protesting and all of that marching and stuff. If you ain't doing nothing but marching and protesting and carrying the sign, leave me alone, because I'm not going to be out there. I'm only going to be fighting if it's results oriented, if you have a plan. But just to go out there to be marching and holding signs and we shall overcome, I'm not doing that, And I'm from that era. I'm not doing it. And that's why nothing is being accomplished, because we go, this is what we do. We go march, we protest, we hold the signs, and then we go eat. And then we sit down and we have a discussion among ourselves, and then we go home. What did we accomplish? So we have to learn how to fight. And I'm talking about really go out there and fight. And what they did that was great is that they knew the law. And so, if people will assume that our young people are not educated, they don't know about the law. But because they knew the law, those police officers knew what they could not do to them. And so that's the other thing is teaching our young people you know, how to not react by fighting and that kind of thing, but get the stuff up in your head, get the knowledge. So when you're faced with these things, you know how to deal with it. And definitely videotape, and put it out there. And the thing about it, it's so much crap on social media, and that I wonder somehow, how does this stuff get passed? Yesterday, a couple days ago, it was a young lady. I don't know if y'all saw this. She was Indian or something, and she was doing a live. She had ordered some food, and I guess somebody was after her. She had a beef with somebody,
yeah.
and
Hmm.
did she was Asian. I don't know if y'all saw that, and
I
and
seen
she
it. I
opened the
seen it.
door.
Yeah.
You
I
saw it?
didn't see it. Finish see. I didn't
Yeah,
finish
and
telling
she
the
was
story.
shot. She got shot, and it was live. She was
Yeah.
live streaming, and this continues to play over and over again. But stuff like this, if this video was posted, they would immediately take it down. Why? Why? And so it's so much stuff that's being able to go on social media. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Ain't nobody doing nothing about it. The people that's in charge of these social media sites, they not doing nothing about it. But then they will shadow block or shadow ban certain videos or certain things that you're trying to get out there, which is wrong. And those, again, are the things that we have to learn how to fight. We're too silent and we're too forgiving. We forget real quick. We get amnesia real quick. So as soon as things die down a little bit, it's forgotten and we off to the next thing. And we gotta stop doing that. We have to really stop doing that.
Mr. John, what up?
Good
What up,
speaker.
JoJo, baby,
Good speaker.
baby?
You put your words together very nicely.
Jojo.
Let me find my video real quick, Molly. I got you.
Okay, Reese, you said you had a video to share too.
So
Yeah,
Slick,
there was a video in our thing.
Yeah, I see a few. I know which one. I see. Just let me know which one.
Sister, what time is your show over?
Look, Lady J, Dr. J, I'm telling you, when we get a good
Leave
topic,
when you feel like
it
it.
goes on. You leave when you feel like to come back.
Oh,
Sometimes we
shoot. Well,
go
let
on
me
at
get
3
up.
o'clock.
Listen, let me get up because I'm supposed to be going to lunch
She
and
was
everything.
like,
I said,
well,
let
let
me
me
get
get
up and
myself
get
together
myself
then.
up out of here. I'm sitting here in Sam's
I
Club.
had to come back to the screen because she said
You
that.
can move while you.
Okay,
Yeah, you
yeah.
ain't gotta be confined to no table or nothing.
Listen,
We mobile around here.
let me
We
get
be in
up and go to
cars,
my
driving
car.
places.
Well, here you
Oh
go, because
yeah, you ain't never gotta be confined.
that's what
Never
I'm getting
think
ready
that
to
when you get
do.
on the show.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, thank you, because I'm getting ready to leave Sam's Club.
But before you do
Oh,
slide off the platform, whenever you do, you gotta make sure you give us your social handles, whatever you are sharing with, like, people that can follow you or
oh
whatever. Or
yeah.
yeah, but just don't forget to do
Y'all
that
can
before
follow me
whenever you do
on
decide.
okay. Yeah, I'm going to because my other phone died and I need to go to the car and charge that.
I feel you.
And this man, he then gave me my paper and said your tire is complete. I thought it, but I was waiting for the show to be over.
That's awesome, though. I mean, I
Okay.
like that.
Oh,
We
that's
coming
so
up to 3
sweet.
hours in this joint, so it just depends on how the conversation rolling. We'll run it up.
And the
Yeah.
way you got it going, we'll be on here for a while.
Because everything just jumping in here, they loving the content what we talking about.
Mm-mm-mm. Well, that's
So that's
good.
cool.
That's
That's
good.
cool. Good conversation too.
Funny man, you missed the video, man. It was a guy
Sir,
and
I
his
know you see
neighbor
me walking across the street.
deep out there pressing all them out, busting in people's cars. Just everybody caught searching it and shit. You know, it was crazy. Hey, one little sliggy room. All right, Joe. You sent that joint, Trey? Or you put in a private chat? Say love it
I'm about to
always.
right now.
LA said the video is a perfect example of how to respond. Give video, badge number, and tell the world how you should respond.
Yep, that's how we should respond. And
I
they
was
just
just screaming. I don't know what I was saying half the time.
you
So
was cussing
bad.
them out. You like, you ain't got no right to do what you doing that. We out here being peaceful. We having a video. We shooting this. You ain't got no right to do that. Why you in that pressing car? Get out that car. You was
I'm like, get the fuck out of this car. Like everyone.
you was cussing, you was going off. I said, oh shut. I was like, please don't tell me that they about to apprehend Molly. Molly had the video with your badge number, and I love that. And that's how when we see something wrong, everybody should pull out their camera and do it the same way they see something, they're ready to go on the gram. People always got their phone, the camera, and go live. And so people can see this is happening live time. This is happening right now. Somebody need to stop it. And if somebody really need, I wonder what's going to happen to those officers. The people out there, are y'all pressing charges? The people that got their window bust out?
And they ain't gonna do nothing. That's this normal behavior. At times this happened, and we had friends that got shot. The police didn't shot him because he nervous, but it was less cops. You know, it was like 3 cops, and then they got so scared he started shooting. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Wasn't nobody. But this time they always bring at least 60, 70 police around there. And you be like, dog, ain't nobody call y'all. Ain't nothing happen. They just jump out. That's what they do. They call them jump out where we from.
Do y'all got a representation for your ward, Jack?
Trayon White is living out here. Trayon White from our neighborhood.
I mean, they removed him off the council.
It ain't matter if you move him there, not there. He still that he with them. He with them. He with their side. That's his thing. He just makes sure they don't put their foot on our neck too much. But now that he gone, there's nothing we can do now. You know, it ain't like he can stop him, but he can at least come around there and settle things down. You know, he might
you gotta have some type of representation for your ward because they don't do that. And then in the other wards,
the councilwoman out there, one of the councilwomen was out there with us. She the one that orchestrated it. They ain't care about her neither. They breaking her shit too. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I don't know.
then where's the protection? Then that means they breaking into councilwoman stuff. They
What's
they
up,
can
Mr.
do
John?
whatever they want to
What's up,
do.
JoJo?
Yes, they said it on camera.
Hey,
We don't work for the
Who else
citizens
in here?
anymore. We work for the city. I'm like, hold up. Say that again. Say we work for the city. We don't work for the citizens. We don't work for y'all. Taxpayers' dollars don't pay y'all. How did that work? Like I'm trying
Thank
to
you.
figure that out.
they work for the
Thank you for
city.
that info that you pulled from the internet and put in the comments, Sky. I seen that comment earlier. I just couldn't. I didn't want to interrupt.
So they actually said we
Just
work
some
for the
numbers.
city. I
Got
thought they
some
worked for the
Flash
people.
numbers.
I thought the people was the city. No.
I got
Hey,
some
Molly.
video track.
I don't know
Let's
if you've
see.
seen Josh's comment, Molly, but he was saying the video that you put up of what y'all went through was a perfect example of how to respond. He said, "Get video badge numbers and tell the world how you should respond." I don't know if you've seen that comment, but
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I read it.
We read
okay.
it.
I had to look and see was that Josh for sure. I was like, hold on.
Because I thought it was somebody else.
Somebody done hacked my man page. What up, funny man? How you feeling today, man? You all right?
Yeah. I'm feeling good.
So I can
I
find
don't like the way
videos
you said
all
that.
over YouTube. I
What
want.
you mean?
Shoot, in the words of Stephanie Mills, I feel good all over.
Oh Lord!
Oh,
Somebody grabbed
Yeah,
it.
all right. Somebody grabbed you up.
Nah.
Yeah, silly.
Okay. What was what's this? Okay, let's see what this video is. I don't even know what it is, but let's see it anyway.
Kindergarten? Yeah, you was in kindergarten or pre-K. What color was it? Oh, it was every color.
Yeah, I was gonna say rainbow.
Okay, now when you went to first to second grade,
I don't know.
it was bland. Man, it was bland.
Yeah, it was
Like jail.
Exactly. Then when you went to high school, what color was it?
Like jail.
Yeah.
Okay, then when you went to work, what color was the wall?
Yeah.
It's waning you off the frequency. When you a kid, you vibrant, you running around, and then the first thing they do is they say, wane them off the frequency. Make the walls tan, make everything tan, make it boring. Sit down, don't move. They just get you right out the spirituality. And then the next time that you do get introduced to a colorful environment, guess where you at? You in a club. If the club was this color, nobody would go. But since it's black and it's universal light, aka from red to purple, they feel like you in the universe. They feel like you.
Wow.
So this is why people like the club. It's called colorology. Even hunger. Hunger is triggered by the color red, yellow, and orange. What color? What color is Wendy's?
Yeah.
What color is
McDonald's.
Chick-fil-A, McDonald's? Every highly successful fast food franchise, I guarantee you, if they not all red, orange, and yellow, they have either one of them colors at a high value.
Yeah.
So this is people who literally socially engineer the world. What color was kindergarten?
Kindergarten?
Yeah, when you was in kindergarten or pre-K, what color was it? Ooh, it was every color.
Yeah, I was gonna say rainbow.
Okay, now when you went to first to second grade, what color was it?
I don't
It was bland. Man,
Yeah.
it was that color.
Yeah, it was
Like jail.
Exactly. Then when you went to high school, what color was it?
Like jail.
Yeah.
Okay, then when you went to work, what color was the wall?
Yeah.
It's waning you off the frequency. When you a kid, you vibrant, you running around, and then the first thing they do is they say, wane them off the frequency. Make the walls tan, make everything tan, make it boring. Sit down, don't move. They just get you right out the spirituality. And then the next time that you do get introduced to a colorful environment, guess where you at? You in a club. If the club was this color, nobody would go. But since it's black and it's universal light, aka from red to purple, they feel like you in the universe. They feel like you.
Wow.
So this is why people like the club. It's called colorology. Even hunger. Hunger is triggered by the color red, yellow, and orange. What color? What color is Wendy's?
Yeah.
What color is
McDonald's.
Chick-fil-A, McDonald's? Every highly successful fast food franchise, I guarantee you, if they not all red, orange, and yellow, they have either one of them colors at a high value.
Yeah.
So this is people who literally socially engineer the world. What color was kindergarten?
So I know it's gonna be a lot of people that'll be like, "What?" and all of that, which is fine, because only thing you can do is pass information and encourage people to look into things. But this is one. This is one of the things that I used to mention when I used to talk about the influence of colors. And if anybody knows about frequencies, the light spectrum, stuff like that, all of that has an influence on your mind. The reason why social media pages choose to use blue and certain forms of blue, and you hear certain frequencies, certain volumes when you're watching TV, and every commercial has its own, adjustments and all of that. Colorology is a real thing. So that's, something I thought would be good. Maybe a few people might understand or know something about it, but I was hoping that would be a good talking point.
Well, it is very true. It definitely is true, and
Glad
it's
you're here. Thank you,
you know,
Miss Dr. Lady J. Thank you,
it
because
definitely is
nobody,
true.
yeah.
They have ways of there are ways of getting our attention. It's like I was just in Sam's Club just now, and there will be music played, and certain music is played, to work on our brain.
Yes.
And so this is I don't know, it's not anything that to me doesn't seem like it wouldn't be real, because it is real. How do you ever listen? Advertising is very, very important. And there are certain ways. If you go on YouTube, they show you, they have different ways of showing you how, when you're watching TV, you ever watch TV and like McDonald's might come on, or a pizza place might come on, and you weren't even thinking about food, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I want a piece of pizza, or I want some they have a way of making, they showed on YouTube how they specifically target us by making foods look a certain way. And on top of that, y'all, the food that we were looking at, that we over there salivating over, it wasn't even real. It's not even real. It's something that they made so it could get our attention. Because when you go to these fast, I've never had a Big Mac. I've never had a Big Mac look like the Big Mac that's always advertised on the commercial. I've never had that. Okay. And then they show how they do the cheese pizza and all this kind of stuff. It was so interesting. I gotta find it. But if y'all go on YouTube, you'll be able to
I've
see it.
seen
And
it.
they're showing how they're able to get our attention and feed into our brain in those 30 seconds. What I learned also, if you don't get people's attention within the first 15 to 30 seconds, you might as well forget it.
Listen,
And that's
you
why when you
listen. Yeah.
watch these YouTube things, these little commercials that they do stuff to really get and captivate your mind. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, this is an honest thing.
Yeah,
I
be
was
honest.
at
Yeah.
home all day yesterday, right? I'm home all day.
Me too,
And I'm
Scott.
not a TV watcher, but yesterday, I had the TV on, and every time I turn it around, they showing a snack for this, they showing a snack for that. Um, they showed the pizza, which I ended up getting pizza in Sam's Club today because I had the pizza on
I
my
got some
mind. So I
upstairs.
got a slice of pizza in Sam's Club. And then yesterday, because in my mind, it's so many times the commercials were coming on about how good Doritos are, and these chips and stuff. Do you know I got in my car in the pouring down rain? True. Went to Family Dollar. I spent $32 buying snacks, getting this, getting that. And when I got home and I walked in the kitchen and I looked in the bag, I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. There's nobody home but me and the dog. Why? And I had stuff like I was having a party. Why? Because in my brain, I had let this stuff just seep into my mind all day about good snacks. I don't even like Doritos that much. I went and bought the biggest bag of Doritos. So I got that. But this is how they're able to work on us and feed things to us subconsciously. And we think we're not thinking about it. And it's already there. It's already there.
Yeah.
When you drive in certain neighborhoods, and I'm gonna tell y'all, pay attention. When you go into certain neighborhoods, you can smell the McDonald's food. You can smell all kinds. You're driving in your car, and you can smell the food, the smell of the aroma of the food in certain areas. I live in Baltimore, so in certain areas in Baltimore, I can drive, and you know, I know when I get there, I'm gonna smell the aroma of the food. And so I'm just kind of thinking about, okay, where am I gonna go? McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, which one? Because I smell all of it. But then I can go to Columbia, Maryland. They got the same amount of fast food places out there, and you don't smell a thing. And tell me why that happens. Because they know for us, feed us. You know, feed us. We're gonna come and get the food, and we're gonna go to the cheaper places to get our food because we're trying to save money. But you can go to other areas and it's not like that. And so, yeah, what the brother said is very true. And again, we got to be mindful of what we're allowing to come into our space and into our head, because they feed us a lot of misinformation, and the stuff that we need to know, we kind of push it to the side. But that is a very true thing. Pay attention. You know, matter of fact, it's a lot of stuff going on right now that you need to pay attention
I've
to
seen
because of
that.
the person that's in the White House. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Chick-fil-A, that's so nice.
My Chick-fil-A employees are so nice. And that's like
Probably
it's
that nice.
they hire a certain look they have too. If you notice, everybody
Yeah.
has the same look for the most part too.
Yeah, like color violet, they got more like the higher frequencies than any other color. Red got the longest frequency. You know, it is a lot of different colors got different meanings, but yellow, it really helps with therapy and stuff other than just hunger. But when a lot of people didn't believe in these things, that's why I love Young Pharaoh. But he was one of them guys that I used to watch, and as he started to teach the people, something mysteriously happened to him. You know, so you don't see him around. Lord Jamar starting to get his little issues, but Rashad Jamal, there's a lot of them dudes. But this
How y'all doing? I can't hear any sound.
John,
I can't hear y'all.
we can hear you. We can hear you.
We can hear you.
You can't hear us.
Can y'all hear me?
Joe.
Nah.
What's up, JoJo?
What up, JoJo, baby?
Looking all serious. Looking serious and shit.
So go ahead, what you were saying about Young Jamal.
I was getting all worked up when she was talking about being targeted. She's being targeted. They're coming after you. They got that chemical base in there for you. See, it ain't just the smell; it's the chemicals that make you want to come back. That they got in all that food. You know how many chemicals are in Chick-fil-A fries? Not even getting to the chicken yet. Let's just talk about the French fries. Just potatoes. There's like 30 or 40 chemicals in these potatoes, and you be having a chemical reaction of withdrawal, just like anything else. You know what I mean? And it calls you, and it be having you. And yeah, they coming to get you because they know that it's a cheaper way to keep somebody out of touch with their spirituality, out of touch with their physicalness, and out of touch with any strong mental thoughts, because this food is seriously. And then we could be smart as a mug, but you don't know how much the next level, because you don't get to the next level of spiritually, physically, or mentally, because you think you're smart, but it gets smarter when you got clearer thoughts and healthier nutrition in your system. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's a lot more than just, it's the color, like you all been saying. You look at any of these fast food signs, they colorful. The red and yellows, they make you hungry too. Like y'all know y'all talking about it, I pick up on that. But yeah, so but along with that comes the pricing, and the shit's really not even that cheap for real no more. But our stomachs also are so stretched out, we think it takes a lot more than it really does to fill us, and it really doesn't. Your stomach's only as big as the palm of your hand for real. It can fit in the palm of your hand. You know what I mean? But it's a muscle that stretches, so it stretches. You know, it can be as big as a basketball, I assume. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a lot, and we're under attack. You're under attack, honey. Every time you go to one of them stores, know that you've been conquered.
That part.
Molly, what was
not
you saying
eating
about
healthy.
Young Jamal? I wanted Molly to finish his thought.
No,
I did a joke yesterday. I pulled up the Popeyes on the motherfucker. I had somebody that don't eat plant-based with me, and they was in their phone and wasn't paying attention. And I pulled up the Popeyes on their ass, and it said, "Welcome to Popeyes. I take your order." And their neck swung around so fast. And I said, "Oh shit, my bad. No, I'll be back. And I pulled off.
Okay.
So the color, So the color blue is supposed to be like calming.
Well, it's alluring. It's supposed to it draws you in. That's why like these social platforms like want to take advantage of the color blue.
Reese, you should dye your
Fact
coochie
that
hair blue.
colors are owned.
Yeah.
Colors are patented. They're owned. On certain realms, they can be created, but they are like I said, people own colors. Just like they own stars, can purchase a star and all that shit. You can own a color.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just the
It
same.
works though.
So
It
people's
works in the
right to use
produce
that
store
color.
too. Go to the
Yeah.
produce store and let them colors take you. Let them colors take you off. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? That's where we need to go to the produce store and let some of them red, green, yellow peppers and
Yep.
orange peppers and them zucchinis, some colorful zucchinis and mangoes and the inside of
Yeah,
the
let them
watermelon
colors get to
cantaloupe.
you.
Let them colors get us.
Right. That's when
Molly,
that's when it ain't got no effect no more. That's when the frequency turned off. Now you're not bothered by the colors when it comes to vegetables and shit. That's what I be looking for.
Molly, what was you
Shit.
saying about your boy Jamal? What was his name again?
Lord Jamar.
Rashid Jamal,
Rashid Jamal.
Jamal, one of them joints. Rashad.
They say they got
Jamal
like 3 of them
Rashad.
named similar.
Yeah.
Rashad Jamal, I think, is the one. No, this is Young Pharaoh that was in this video. But
Yeah,
you
that was
talking
Young
about
Pharaoh on that one. Yeah,
okay.
that was my boy Young Pharaoh. Man, he was vicious, man. He used to teach a lot, but food, definitely colors, all that stuff got something to do with everything. Like even when you eat green food, like fruits and veggies and stuff like that, that lower cholesterol. I hope I said it right. But it's the same thing with the yellow banana, anything yellow, the lemon or anything that helps with the skin and the immune system. Anything orange, if you got an orange fruit or mango, anything that's orange, tomatoes, they got some orange tomatoes, tangerines, all of that helps with your cells and your eyes and things like that. Then you got the red, like the watermelon.
Watermelon.
That's good for your heart and digestion as well. You got fruits, cranberries,
And your
strawberries.
eyes.
So the colors let you know what code they go to, what helps you, like what part of the body it helps you with. So a lot of people don't know how important colors are. They just see like, oh, that's my favorite color, girl, because that's my birthstone. And da 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 da. Like, nah, colors matter, and that's why they got it on a lot of the food restaurants and stuff to draw you in. When you see that big yellow McDonald's watch, when you was a kid, hey, I want McDonald's. It's drawing you in. You never got drawn in by Subway as a kid, you know, like. They got their little yellow and their little green, but it wasn't as big as McDonald's and Burger King, Atlanta. But it was always weird that they use similar colors all the time. But now they make sense when you get older. You understand colors and frequencies and understand that we're electrical, spiritual beings. Like you get drawn in by frequency.
And you know the others.
Look at kindergarten. When you first go to kindergarten, all the colors and stuff in kindergarten, right? And all the fun and how exciting it is. And then when you go to first grade, how it's just dull. You know, now it's time for business. Now it's time to get you whipped, get you into shape, and take the fun away. Don't let you know what I'm saying? Building what they want to build, but you know the colors are.
That's
they're
exactly what
they are.
That's exactly what the video is
And
about.
they do have that good job on
Yeah, that's exactly what he got into. That's the first thing he attacked. That was the only subject he attacked in the video was actually that color change. What you just said was what the video was about verbatim.
Yeah,
like it was literally about that.
What you about to say, Doc?
Oh, what I was going to say is that somebody had said something about watermelon, and I'm like, I just left out of there, and I meant to get a watermelon.
I got stuff in my refrigerator right now.
I forgot.
I'm saying I got one.
But you know what? You know what else is interesting about not only the color thing, that Chick-fil-A actually has mastered is that the owner of Chick-fil-A, when you go back and read his story and why Chick-fil-A is so successful is because he said that he realized that there are a lot of people who wake up every day, nobody says good morning to them, nobody is friendly to them. And so he decided at Chick-fil-A, and if you go to Chick-fil-A, if you notice, they are super friendly. Oh, what's your name? They're super friendly. They making sure you get your order. They're making sure everything is correct, because his thing was he wanted people to feel so welcome when they came to Chick-fil-A that first time, that you come back and you tell your friends and your friends tell their friends and y'all just keep coming back. That's why it's always a line around the building, because he figured out the colors and he figured
Mm-hmm.
out the concept
Mm-hmm.
of what to do and how to be successful in his business.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what you won't see, and correct me if I'm wrong, because we don't have it here in Baltimore and in different states I've gone to, I don't really see a lot of Chick-fil-A's in Black neighborhoods. I
No.
do
No, they
see
up
them.
here. We're up,
Y'all
up,
have
up here.
Yeah, now
We
we
y'all
got
have
come.
them in
one
Black.
right down the
You
street
did
from me.
too.
I could
They're
go
always
north.
We
like
I
see
could
my
go
shopping
south.
centers or
neighborhood.
something.
We ain't
But
in the hood.
I'm
My
talking
hood,
about in the
Baltimore
hood.
is private.
yeah, she ain't in the hood.
Baltimore,
I
but
thought
see, that's the
Sula
Yeah,
was
thing.
the
America.
hood.
Ain't
It's
nothing,
the one
ain't
Talking
right
about.
down
I'm
nothing
the
in
not
the
street
eating
hood.
from
fast
me.
I'm
food no
You
talking.
way.
ever
I'm
see
No.
police pull up on y'all like
I don't eat fast food at all. Well,
the
yeah.
video
I'm talking.
you see what you do look like that around your neighborhood? Do the police every day constantly bother people around your neighborhood like that, Reese? Yeah, out front, do they just come bust y'all windows and harass y'all all?
No,
That's the
no,
hood.
That's what I'm talking about.
right.
I'm
Like that,
talking
Thank you.
about the hood. You do not
no.
see a Chick-fil-A in that area. And that would be my question to him if I could ever interview him and meet him. Why don't you have those in our area? You don't think that we need to have a good morning, or we need somebody to be nice to us? Like, are you afraid to come into the community? Like, what is it?
We need to be
Because
nice to each
they are
other,
not
Dr.
there.
J.
We
We
Did
do
I
do,
need
No,
to
but
answer
be
your
what
nice.
but what
question?
I'm saying to them, what I'm saying is that if I get in my car, because where I live at, and I don't live in a hood, but I live close to it, but I got to get in my car and drive about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes before I get to a Chick-fil-A. Meanwhile, I pass Burger King, McDonald's, Subway, Wendy's, but no Chick-fil-A. And so I
Well,
got to do
this.
that drive. So if I can get in my car and drive over to where you are to get your food, why can't you come into my neighborhood? That would be my question to
Hey,
him.
Dr. J.
Yes.
uh,
I actually want to
you
answer
got
what I think will be the thing. I think when you said that, I was trying to think about it critically on what I feel like they or he would think about us. I don't think that he thinks, not that we don't deserve a good morning. I feel like he
Mm,
doesn't feel like we would uphold that standard that they already have, not only as a
true.
place of slightly higher quality, slightly
Mm-hmm.
still fast food, but slightly higher quality, presentation, customer service, all that. And
Right.
I don't think he'll be able to we'll be able to he considers it
how you
I don't
gonna
think he would
find
consider
happy
us
people to
people
work in
that
the
can
hood? Who
uphold
gonna
that
be
standard as
happy?
far as our physical safety. You said what?
True. I
Niggas
agree
be
with
coming
that.
in,
I agree.
You said
but
what?
also that's true, Bill, on that and that friendliness thing though, because I saw Undercover Boss one time, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Oh
they were
yeah.
trying to figure out why this 7-Eleven sold 10 times more coffee than any 7-Eleven in the country. And you know
Mm-hmm.
what it was? It was the lady that worked there, came in, knew everybody's name,
Mm-hmm.
people came to that 7-Eleven to get their coffee. She'd be like, hey, Bob. She would build a relationship with them. And she was
That's what
Right.
we
always
do.
smiling
Right.
That's
and
what we
happy.
do.
And I'm trying to tell you,
Mm-hmm.
she had more business coming in that 7-Eleven for coffee. And you know, coffee is a high profitable item. So the
Mm-hmm.
7-Eleven was trying to, they were trying to figure that. They loved it. They were trying to figure out what the hell is they doing to sell all this coffee. And it was the
Right.
lady in there being nice, speaking to all the customers and her customer service and building
They'll go
Right.
out
relationships
their
with
way for
customers.
that. They'll go
Yeah.
Going
out
out of
their
Yeah.
their
way for that.
way, going out of their
Mm-hmm.
way for that.
hmm
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely, you hitting on money with that, and you can't
Oh
find
yeah.
anybody to work those
I'm right.
if you wouldn't have the right people working. How you gonna? I mean, I know that in Randallstown, right, and that's close to your area.
right?
Yes.
That's hood
Yes.
now. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
big money. It's big money hood though. There's a lot of money out there, but it's hood as
Right.
shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And if you go to any of them restaurants, that's why there ain't no Chick-fil-A. You don't think Chick-fil-A would make a lot of money there? Yes, they would.
Right.
But they couldn't find nobody to work there. You'd have all these mean ass
Mhm.
niggas working in there, talking, looking all crazy ass and shit. What you mean, man? Got
And
no
you know
waffle
what?
fries? I
Oh
did
my
put my
goodness.
waffle fries in there.
That is so true.
They took all our
That is
dominoes.
so true because you know what? I hadn't even thought about that part of it. But that is so true because I went into KFC and normally I go through the drive-through. So this particular day I decided to go inside because the
Yeah.
drive-through line was long. And now when I get inside, I figure out what's going on because the young lady was mad that her check was short. So she's at the register getting ready to take my order. And then she said, wait a minute. Because the manager was coming past, so she said to the manager, my check ain't right. He said, well, take that lady's order first and then we'll talk about it. She said, I ain't taking nothing. Took her little uniform top, and I'm like, I'm standing there looking like, okay, so I guess I'm not gonna be able to order today. And so, and she's telling the manager, if they want some food, then you get it. You put it in. I ain't doing nothing till you fix my check. And we all standing there in line, like, what? Like, seriously, like, I told the man, like, look, that's okay. Y'all handle your business. I'm gonna go somewhere else and get some chicken. But, like that is so true because of the attitudes, the attitudes of our young people a lot of times when they fighting. And I guess with him, and I'm big on this too, so I can't fault him. My reputation means everything. My character means everything. And if you don't represent me in the right way, whether we're friends or not, we are done. Because it means everything to me to have a standing character. So I do understand what the man is saying because they're probably being there fighting, doing all kinds of stuff, and he just probably saying it's better. Y'all just drive to where we at. We not gonna
Yeah,
hire
and just
you
help
and
us
put
make the money. We can control the
I'd
yeah,
rather,
environment,
right.
control whether we hire you or not. Yeah.
and I'd
Yeah,
rather
y'all,
drive there anyway. Because
yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
see me at Chick-fil-A in the hood and be like, hey, give me a sandwich too. Like it's no different in the curry out. They see you walking the curry out. Oh, did you give me some wings, bro? Can you buy me some
Right,
wings?
right,
So it's like they
right.
got stores around the hood. You gonna have somebody standing out there asking to grab them something or give them some
Yeah,
change.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
it ain't a good look. We gotta clean it up before we get those things. We ain't got a Domino's in the hood. It just
Right,
nothing
yeah.
matters because the customer service, people get there, they start to stealing. They start giving out free food. And I used to be young and happy.
Yeah.
Work at McDonald's. We ain't paying for shit. Now, and then you
Mhm.
want your friend got fired 3 months later. Like, nigga, gave y'all free food the whole time. Wondering why the
Right.
McDonald's shut down because everybody doing it. They not making enough money. And now we ain't got
Yeah.
a McDonald's in the hood. Now we mad.
Right, right.
I get it
Yeah.
now why we don't got a Walmart, a Target,
Yeah.
any of these things, because we always do wrong. We got to clean up first, then we can get those.
Yeah.
Hey, can I
Yeah.
bring up something that it ties to the subject of what we're talking about, or it ties to my video of what we're talking about. But one thing I noticed too, and this is not a high moment, it's not none of that. It's in terms of targeting audiences and stuff like that. One thing I noticed, there's something that companies do that markets their smell. If you took me into any store, Walmart, CVS, Dollar General, Family Dollar, you can take me into those places and I can identify it by location and by smell. Like I can identify
Mhm.
where I'm at by the smell. What
Right.
is that? Every CVS
Mhm.
smells exactly the same. Every hair store smells exactly the same. Every library smells exactly the same. Not the library necessarily, but you know what I mean in terms of locations you would go and purchase things. What is
Right.
that? Does anybody know what the hell that possibly could be?
Well, they're actually just working on us. This is the thing. When you continually repeat something to somebody, after a while they get it, they learn it, they commit it to memory, and you don't have to keep saying it. And so what they're doing every time that we walk into a McDonald's, like you said, McDonald's has a certain smell. when we see a commercial, not only are we visually seeing that commercial, we're also now smelling. We can imagine the smell of the McDonald's, which causes us to want to get in our car and go to McDonald's and get something to eat. They're teaching us every time that we walk into their establishments, this is where you want to be. This is where you want to come. You know, if you want good fries, I'm going to make that fry smell so strong. I love McDonald's fries, you know, and
Not when
when
they
they hot.
cold. Mm-mm.
No, I was going to say when they hot, they got to be hot. You know, they got to be hot.
It's
You
gonna taste
know,
like ass when it's not hot.
yeah. And so they have a way, again, it's a marketing strategy. How do I get people to remember me after they walk out? How do I get you to remember the CVS store? You know,
Yeah.
to me, I don't know what CVS smells like to y'all, but to me, CVS to me smells like
A pharmacy.
cotton. Yeah, it smells like a pharmacy.
I used to
Yeah,
work there.
that's what it smells like to me.
Products. I don't think
You know,
I'm gonna just jump in real quick and say this. I
Right.
don't think it's they trying to get you. I think it's the product that they sell because they don't want that their pharmacy smell is just to smell like the pharmacy because that's what the product that they sell smell like. Just like when you go, like when my grandmother cooking her fried chicken and the aroma filled up the house. My grandmama not advertising nothing, but I can smell her fried chicken. And when I think about good
Nah,
fried chicken, I think
nah.
about like grandma. And when you go to library smell like books, it smell like the paper. So that's why the hospital smell like hospital because of the disinfectant and sanitizer that they use cleaning the
You
floor.
just become familiar with it. It becomes your shit. You know? I mean, I used to love the smell of the liquor store. I love that musty old funky ass liquor store smell. You know what I'm saying? You become accustomed with it. You know what I mean? Like this, you know that winery smell. That funky,
spraying stuff.
I used to love that shit.
It's just a product of what they
and
smell.
it's a comfort. And for me, you know, why do I feel like CVS is the best pharmacy in the world? When you got Walgreens, you got Rite Aid, and I don't know why. And CVS, their service is horrible where I live at. But every time I'm getting a prescription, I'm like, oh, CVS, Baltimore National Pike. I know the phone number, you know, and I'm like, why is that? And it's because when I walk in there, to me, it's like a big, huge pharmacy. And I feel like they know what they're doing because they have that pharmacy smell when I walk in there. You know, it's weird. But they have the worst customer service, you know, but that's how it is in my brain. And I think it affects everybody differently. And so I'll go sit in line at the drive-thru, then get pissed off and go stand in line inside the store fussing at myself like, why do I keep getting my prescriptions filled here? You know, when there's a Rite Aid right across the street, you know, Walgreens right down the street. I can go to Giant, I can go to Walmart, but I keep going to CVS. You know, like what is that?
Habits.
And the Rite Aid smell different from a CVS. They both pharmacies.
They do. Yep,
that's my point about the psychological part about the smell,
yes.
whatever they do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all real.
I go in the subway. I know it's a subway.
I told y'all the story. It ain't just the smell, though. I told y'all the story about my uncle. This was back in the 70s. He ate a McDonald's cheeseburger, and he hadn't had one for a while. You know, he ain't had no McDonald's for a long while. This is the early 70s, so it wasn't like everyday food for us. You know, he hadn't had one for a while. Wow. He ate a cheeseburger, and later on, about two or 3 hours later, he said he was craving for a cheeseburger. He had just had one. Why was he craving for a cheeseburger? He said it got to be chemicals. He said it way back then. He said they got to be putting something in this shit.
I got you on that comment, Scott, too.
He said they got to be putting something in this shit. And sure enough, there's 50, 60 chemicals in that shit. Got you.
There's a comment from Scott. Somebody actually in the comment.
Parts in it too.
Somebody in the comment section can actually attest to this whole smell thing. So Scott Setchell, I ain't gonna call your name out like that in the future, but Scott said at our skating rink in our fog machine,
that thing crazy.
Order juice that has a popcorn tinted smell to it to try to make the skaters want to go to the snack bar and order popcorn. I know that's what I meant. I know there's some type of manipulative something. My whole life, CVS has always smelled like CVS or a Subway or a Target, whatever. Target smells different from Walmart. Like it doesn't, you know, it can't be the products. Send me in a store. One of these stores supposed to smell like a big ass fart.
All I
or
know
pile of
when I go
shit.
to the movie theater, I want popcorn. because I
I
smell
must
my
have had the
breath.
coochie
Cause they
smell
get
in our
you.
area all the
They done
time
got your
because
ass.
Then it's
because
good.
coochie got me. So I must have been having the coochie smell around me all the time.
And when
Y'all
somebody
must have had
sent
that
me a
coochie in the
video,
air in my neighborhood. They had the
I
coochie
wasn't
in
going
the
to bring
air.
it up. I was going to save it for
Shut
tomorrow.
your ass.
But I was sending a video about the girl, what she was saying about men that like the smell of coochie. I was going to save it for
Oh yeah,
tomorrow.
as long as it ain't bump rock,
Let's
you
say
ain't got
that
that,
one
you
for
ain't got that, you ain't
tomorrow.
got that backwash.
Molly, I'm gonna say that video for tomorrow, Molly.
I mean,
They said
they selling scents. I mean, you can buy Erica Badu scent if you want to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I said
You can
that.
buy that. Put that under your mustache. You know?
Grow some facial hair.
don't want to.
Smell is big. Like you lose your sense of smell.
Let me ask
You
you a
can
question.
decline in your health.
Molly, pull up another video while we chatting in the back.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so if I'm attracting a woman, right, I wouldn't want to have Erica Badu cologne on, right? So there ain't no way I would have some other nigga cologne on me. Like, what if you know what I'm saying? Like, if girls love, let's just say, Eddie Murphy, right? They love Eddie. They melt at Eddie or Michael Jackson or something. You wouldn't want Michael Jackson's smell on you to attract the women, would you? I mean, how did that work?
That's what you want, Michael Jackson, because it attracts the woman. Cole Kanai, his cologne, because it's the attraction of whatever that man wearing. You want to wear what he's wearing because he's attracting the women. Not unless you're a man that's looking for another man.
Hey, Jojo.
But you might want to wear stuff that attracts other men.
Badu, she's selling it to men too. If I put Erica Badu scent on me, right? And then I got all these niggas chasing me around. I'm mad as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
But maybe that's what Hey,
Jojo, the Michael Jackson junk was called Hee Hee.
It's called Hee
Hee.
Hee Hee. Yeah.
Hey, back to that Chick-fil-A junk. Is it true? Is it true if they don't say my pleasure at the end of the meal, you get your meal free?
Say it again.
Is it true at Chick-fil-A if they don't say my pleasure at the end, you get your meal free?
I never heard of that. I don't know.
No,
I don't know about that.
I'm gonna use that
I don't
with the
know
next
about that.
prostitute I get. If she don't say my pleasure, then I'm gonna say it's free. You know what I mean?
All I know, if you don't get your receipt from Taco Bell, certain restaurants, you get it free. And it says the whole thing. If they don't give you a receipt,
Niggas always trying to get something for free.
Your stuff is free. Now,
They definitely couldn't put that in the hood.
Niggas love free shit.
Hey, you ain't like
you couldn't put that in the hood.
That's why I'm always froze, webinar, because I'm on this free food stamp.
Look, don't say that, David Green, because you're gonna be one of the ones they're gonna snatch that shit away. They're cutting the budget, so you ain't gonna be having no free nothing, no free food stamps, nothing. They getting ready to snatch the budget.
I told you, I think that's why they cut my service, because they cut my food stamps.
They get ready to cut it all the way. They put a lower place. They getting ready. They're going for Medicaid. They already said it. Food stamps, health. They already said it. That was my protest earlier today because I was like, y'all cutting that away from us, but you're giving it to other countries. That's been my whole thing for a long time. But that was my whole protest earlier today. So you missed that rant.
Yeah, I feel that, Scott. Thank you too. I appreciate that.
You stuck on the
Man,
stuff.
you know, in CBS's, and of course it's still down there on Franklin. Ain't none of that shit went away. I mean, we burnt that joint down on North Avenue and Penn. Whatever the CBS down there doing the rides, and that came right back. Them drug stores ain't going nowhere in town. Whoever asked, somebody asked in the comments, but it's still there. Yeah, it's there. Ain't no drug
It is
stores
there.
closing down.
They rebuilt it. Yeah, it is there.
Yeah, they rebuilt it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing back open. Shit. Peace.
We had top class roller skating rink. Wow.
What's this? Is there a video coming up? What's this? Oh no, it's not for me.
It is something. Somebody pull something up. I mean, Molly pull something up.
Oh, okay.
Oh shoot!
Yeah,
So
we
just
got.
going to
You
Home Depot.
want me to pull up Reese? Because I'm trying to see.
Huh?
You got a certain video you want me to pull up?
No, any of the ones that I sent yesterday. It's not in no certain order, but the ones I said for Tall Tale Thursday.
Let me see.
Mm.
You sent it to me direct on the group.
I think I sent it.
You probably sent it direct. That's probably why I see.
Or I thought I saw it in the group.
Yeah. You sent it direct. I see it.
All right.
Inherit the Wind 65 years ago. That's one of them. And about Albert Adam.
I seen one on evolution or something like that too.
Is that Inherit the Wind or is that Albert Adam?
I don't know. I put my links in a notepad so I can just copy and paste. I don't, and then I'll just directly put it here. So I ain't gotta find it. We gotta keep the ball rolling though. We can't be silent on the live.
Yes.
So let me say this. So it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and
Yes, ma'am.
like I said, I'm big on mental health, and I
Yes,
just want
ma'am.
to say to everybody that's watching, never be afraid to tell your story. What's happened to you in life? That's your story. That's your journey. Because there's going to be people who don't believe you. There's going to be people who saying, you're making it up. You just want attention. And you have to give yourself permission to be okay with telling your story. And who cares who doesn't believe it? This is what happened to you. And in telling your story, yeah, some people may not get it, but think of all of the other people that you may be helping just by
Right.
sharing your experience about, what's happened in your life. A lot of people, it was a 10-year-old that committed suicide last month. Because he was being bullied and he didn't tell his parents. And the night before he committed suicide, one of the young little boys had beat him up in the bathroom. And it was one of the kids in class who actually told the teacher, oh yeah, he got beat up in the bathroom yesterday. And so this little boy, 10 years old, hung himself, and there's so many people that are dealing with mental health issues because they feel like they don't have anybody to talk to. But there are even in a we've been laughing and joking today, but even on a podcast like this, just coming on, I'm going to do this podcast called The Secret Room, and
That's
we're
what's
going to
up.
be on there. We're going to be talking about stuff that people don't talk about. And I'm calling The Secret Room. It's only for
I like
people that's
that.
willing to be transparent. If you ain't willing to be transparent, you can't be on it. But I feel
I
like it's
want to
time for
come.
us.
Yeah, I'll get on
Absolutely.
that joint too. If
Yeah.
you have an open panel or something.
Yes, it's gonna be open. It's gonna be open.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna
And
keep
I
it
feel
secret. I'm gonna
like,
keep it a secret.
yeah,
Can I
because
ask when that show will be without cutting you off? Can I ask when you plan on trying to do that?
it's gonna start next week.
Awesome.
And it's gonna come on. I'm trying to do it on Wednesdays at 8:00.
That works for me.
Because some of the stuff that we talk about, hopefully the kids are in bed. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I don't, it's not going to be kid friendly. I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
And there's just certain discussions we need to have. Now, I remember when I first came out and I was talking to my family about being molested. I was
Yes.
molested from age 11 to 14 by an
Wow.
older family member. So imagine being 11 years old. And I was a tomboy, so I didn't even know what a man looked like. I wasn't even thinking about
Yeah.
boys and stuff like that. I'm climbing trees and all that kind of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
imagine for the first time seeing somebody unzip their pants and you see something popping out of their pants and you don't know what it is. And then them putting that thing inside of you and you're 11. So that has traumatized me, and I talk about that trauma all the time. But in telling that story, you know, I had people in my family telling me, oh, she just doing it for clout, she doing it for views and blah, blah, blah. This ain't happened, that ain't happened. And it hurt for a long time. And then I had to say to myself, you know what, this is my story. And this is what happened to me. I don't need to tell this to get clout because I get enough attention, but you know, and people will say all kinds of stupid stuff to hurt you. And you really got to have that private conversation with yourself to say that it's okay. You know,
Yep.
if the family don't believe, my children, my ex, or my spouse, my partner, if they don't believe, this is my story, and this is the one that I'm going to keep telling over and over again because it's not for y'all who don't believe, it's for the people that I'm trying to help going forward. And
That's
so
right.
I'm
Amen.
going to do this show called The Secret Room in hopes that people will be able to come on, not only to help other people, but to just release. Like, this is your space to release. And I dare anybody to come on and say, oh, he telling a lie, or why he waiting till that. You are immediately blocked.
Yep.
And everybody
Don't
who
lose.
knows that's been on my show, they know I don't play. I will block you in a minute. So allow people to speak, allow people to tell their story. If you don't agree with it, like I tell everybody, click off. You don't have to be on here. But we got to get to a point where we start talking about what we've been through, because if we don't, we just walking around. We broken people walking around trying to do relationships that ain't going to never work because we haven't healed. And those are the conversations that we have to have. It is
Well,
Mental Health Awareness Month. So it's a lot of stuff that needs to be talked about. But that's
The,
one
the
of those
honest,
things.
Dr.
every
J.
day is mental health awareness
Every day,
because
every
you
day.
every day you got to deal with whatever it is in your life that you got. Every day is mental health
It's
awareness. Let's
trauma.
be
It's
honest.
trauma every day.
Would you mind
Trauma
if I
every single day.
Oh, okay.
Grand Rising
Ooh,
Phoenix
I came in at the
What's
right
up,
time.
Phoenix?
from the
Yes, you
Ashes.
did. Yes, you
What's up,
did.
man?
What's up, Phoenix? Go ahead. Go
Hey
ahead. Talk
y'all,
to
how
us.
y'all doing? No, I was trying to catch what was being said. I heard trauma, but I'm gonna let y'all keep talking because I want to catch up, and then I'll put
I
some
feel you.
input in.
Well, if I can respond to you, Dr. J, I want to say
Hey,
that I would say
baby,
that we got some silly ass people on. But if I can respond to that, Dr. J, I would say that people just need, especially young people like myself, because that's always been my mission, is to utilize all the older folks around me. I don't care if you homeless on the street. I don't care if you the CEO of something and you got a nice top of the line Mercedes or whatever it may be. I can take influence from anybody if I feel like that message resonates with me. But all I'm looking
Right.
for is the opportunity to be able to do so. Because as you
Right.
see today, sometimes questions can prompt people to dismiss what you're saying. Neither here nor there, because he's a cool guy, awesome person. But as you see firsthand, sometimes conversations aren't able to be had. And you'll be
Right.
surprised what young bodies of people have, what they're immersed in, what their timeline is, things that people could have done that are monumental, out of this world, historic maybe. And
Right.
you don't get a chance to even touch on the smallest of things, because I've seen from my experience, my life, not no one else's, like we were saying earlier. But for my reality, I've seen where it's been 100% of a blockade trying to speak to an older person about something you think would have been better for them, or you think, if it's in conversation. I believe in a child's place. I believe in minding your business. I believe in staying in your own lane, and I believe in respect. But I've seen that it's been most of my life has been a burden trying to open up certain lines of communication that people don't want to have.
Right.
So in
Right.
order for me to be able to do that, I would need to be in spaces like spaces that you're creating, where it's truly open. And I mean, you can do that. You can be real here. You can be, because we real on here. We're definitely honest on here. But I like spaces like that. I just want to respond to that and say I like spaces like that, because I try to have these conversations a lot, and it gets blocked a lot firsthand, which everybody's seen, today. But it was just a simple question turned into something it didn't need to be.
Right. And
So,
some people
but
are
anyway.
just, some people have been taught, it's unfortunate, like my pastors that come through my churches sometimes, they're in there, like, I think the youngest one that came through, I think he might be about 35 now. But it was sad because when he came through, the older people were like, you know, he would be trying, he's the pastor. He's trying to tell us, directors, what we're supposed to be doing. That's his church. And they'd be like, oh, you're a little boy. You don't know what you talk about. And, you know, when such and such was here, we did this. Well,
Disrespectful.
they not here no more, you know? And I had to always
Disrespectful.
jump in and say, they're not here. This man is the pastor. And you have to speak to him like he's the pastor. Doesn't matter that he's 35. And like I would tell him, if you want to be the pastor or you want to do this, you go get your education and you go run a church. But until then, just shut up or go to another church, you know? And sometimes, you know, older individuals have to learn how to listen. They come from that school of thought that when I'm speaking, you be quiet. And I have all the authority because I've been through stuff. Well, you know what? And some of these young people that I go see in prison, they've been through stuff way more than I have. Like I said, I'm 62. They done been through a whole lot more than I've been through. And so, and lived in places that I ain't never have to live in, you know, and experience stuff. And so, you know, we have to get away from saying that, you know, y'all just sit back and listen to what we have to say. Because you have a and a lot of times older people feel like they're not listening. They start feeling, they take it the wrong way and they start feeling disrespected. And it has nothing with respect, nothing. You know, you're stating your opinion, they're stating their opinion, but they feel like they have to be heard because they're 20, 30 years old. Absolutely not. My father's 88 and he knows that my voice is going to be heard. I understand he done lived and done this and that, but my voice is still going to be heard, you know? And we got to be okay with letting other people speak and vent. I think a lot of the young people now need to vent. You know, it's a lot of stuff that y'all going through. Y'all going through stuff that we never had to go through. You know, a whole bunch of stuff that we went through stuff, but not on the level that you all are experiencing it right now. And so we must listen. You know, we must listen and we must learn and understand because, you know, I didn't grow up with a computer. I didn't grow up with social media, you know, so all of these things that you all are bombarded with every day, I was not bombarded with that. I wasn't, you know, only thing I had to do was go outside and play every day and come back in before the lights went off. That's all I had to do. You know, but it's different now. So as you know, as older adults, you know, we got to learn how to really, you know, support you all and respect your journey, your vision, and everything it is that you're trying to do. And I'm talking to y'all, and I done missed my whole turn talking, trying to get to my father's house.
That's okay. Maybe you ain't need to go that way. Maybe you just need to make a loop. Something might be, you know, I believe in that too. Something push you in a different direction.
Yeah, that's true. That is
loop.
true. Yeah.
Maybe you missed something.
Yeah, that
you know?
is true.
Yeah.
Well, we got a video. Molly got a video up. Let's see what's up. Let's see what we talk about on this.
Thank y'all for y'all comments too.
I don't know what it is. I can't hear it.
Let's give it one moment. It's not playing
just
yet.
say it right now. Count me out. When you think these motherfuckers couldn't have one up, they always do. So these motherfuckers then built the world's longest undersea highway tunnel. And not only that, but it's motherfucking see-through. I don't know what motherfucker came up with this concept, but it does not look safe. You see motherfucking hammerheads and sharks and all different type of shit swimming right over your head. It only took China 4 years to build this motherfucker. This motherfucking tunnel stretches 6 miles long and is 33 feet wide. But not to mention that, it features 6 lanes going both directions. What the fuck? But this motherfucking tunnel has stunned engineers worldwide, saying that this motherfucker was impossible to build. Not to mention this motherfucker could stand an 8 magnitude earthquake. But they also say this motherfucker could withstand a 16 magnitude typhoon. All I'm gonna say is you ain't gonna catch me on this motherfucker. Again, count me out. I'ma just say.
Okay, now everybody, that's a Tall Tale Thursday. Do you believe they got something like that going on? I mean, that to me, that's the Tall Tale because it's something we never seen before. And the first time that when they were seeing it, and they said in China, built it 6 miles. Would you take that ride through that tunnel, or would you be, afraid?
I ride through that motherfucker. Fuck it. I mean, you could die on North Avenue, riding down that
There
motherfucker.
you go.
You might get shot just driving in your car. How the hell you get shot driving in your car? You know, you got to be a car accident. So yeah, I would ride through that
Oh my
motherfucker.
goodness. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
At a red light.
That's true. I live in Baltimore City, so I feel like if I can live in Baltimore City and get up and rise every day and actually make it back home, I can make it doing anything.
I go over that funky ass Bay Bridge, don't I? Shit.
Yeah.
Don't talk about that. I know
that motherfucker be wobbling and shit. I go through that raggedy ass Harbor Tunnel too.
Harbor Tunnel, yeah.
It don't matter how long it is. If you in there, you in there. You know,
and you
what I'm
underwater.
saying?
You surrounded by water when you in there.
I mean, I've been on the bridge, that bridge that goes to Virginia, where you in the over the. Damn, he almost wrecked that motherfucker. My bad, y'all. That bridge where it's a bridge and a tunnel.
Right, under the water.
You know what I'm talking about? You know what
I
I'm
know what you're
talking
talking
about?
about. Yeah.
Virginia
I
Beach.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, going
Molly
from
Scott is
Maryland.
in the back room.
It's a bridge and a tunnel.
Yep, it's a bridge and a tunnel. You be over on the bridge,
and it's
all of a sudden
underwater.
it goes down under the ground, and it does it a couple times.
Yeah,
it goes up and down a couple times. It ain't made of glass though. You don't get to see the animals underneath the fishes and shit. I wish it did have the fishes down.
Hey, Molly Scott is in the back room if you're anywhere around the computer.
Hey, look, y'all, I'm out, yo. Hey, lady J, Dr. Lady J, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Slam dunk on me when you open that when you open your little podcast. I'm gonna come through. So slam dunk on me, Doc. You know what I'm saying?
Please let me know
absolutely.
something.
Hey, look, let me give you my number. I'm gonna give you my number so you can call me. It's 443.
Someone to talk to. Call you.
443.
Hold on. Let me get my pen. Let me get a pen. 17. Call me.
Then you realize you're giving your number to the world. Did you want to
my
give
God.
JoJo privately?
No, everybody.
Was that?
No, it's okay.
Well,
No, it's okay. Everybody has my number. It's okay.
Everybody can call you.
What's up, young lady?
What
Yes,
is
I
it?
am.
Yeah, I don't know, sister. I don't know who does not have my number.
How about a month?
These phones ring all the time.
That
So,
part.
Yeah. Look, I'm listed like that too. And it's right on my profile. I didn't get my number right off of Facebook. So yeah.
Yeah.
What is your number, Dr. J?
Okay, it's 443 297 4753.
Repeat the last four again.
4753.
Can you repeat the whole thing again?
443 297 4753.
Okay.
And let
y'all
me
have
tell
some
y'all,
courtesy
anybody
and text and
that's
say your name or
listening,
something first. All
Yeah.
the calls come through.
yeah, but
Dr. J, are you dating? Because you may get some people that might try to call you for dates. Are you dating?
Want to say something?
Yes.
Hold up a second. I was just gonna say something because let me say this, and y'all will see once y'all get to know me more. I don't play, so I do give my number out. But anybody want to act funny and you want to play some games when you calling that number, I wouldn't do it. Okay, I wouldn't do it. Don't play. That number is for, that's my business number. It ain't no dating number. It ain't no dating nothing. Okay. If I want to go on a date, I'll go on a date. So, but don't call me for that because I'm gonna let you know straight up. So before anybody who's listening and looking, before you go there, let me just tell you, because you want to get your feelings hurt real bad. Because I'm letting you know right now, that's a business number. All right, that's it. That was the commercial break. That's it.
Okay, all right, brother. Yeah, let me
So if you're thirsty, don't call.
People be
let
inboxing me
let
and
me delete this number
sending me
now.
pictures and all kinds of foolishness.
You got a pic on the way now, baby. I'm sending you a pic right
I
now.
be getting catfish too, like that. So I know, Lady J. I
Hey,
think
David Green, were you referencing a Sky song with that Call Me?
So say that again?
Oh, I was talking to David Green. He was singing Call Me. I was like, is that a song by Sky?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
I
actually
wasn't
is.
saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Who was that?
JoJo Baby gone now.
Oh, whoops. My bad. It looked like it was David Green moving.
Lady J, that's Scotty.
Yeah, they said, "What's your dating number then?"
Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you, Doc.
Molly,
as
you was
well.
getting ready to say something. Who said that? Can I say
Y'all,
something?
I don't play with men.
No, I don't play with men or women.
I'm not maybe
You get some women that try to call you too now. So you gotta let them know I ain't playing with none of y'all.
That's probably a bad area now.
I ain't got no money for you.
She must be back in Baltimore. The connection gone out.
I'm out in Hartford County.
I don't know where that is.
In Baltimore, that's all we know.
No, Hartford County is outside of Baltimore. Hartford County is going towards Delaware.
Okay. So that's why you clear now. Molly was saying you must be done driving through Baltimore. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you'll get some of the kind that'll try you. Molly, was you trying to say something?
About what?
Oh, I thought you was saying, can I say something? I thought I heard you.
Nah, that wasn't me. I was listening, but I remember the video you pulled up. I mean, I take that ride.
You take
I think that's the largest one, but that ain't the only, tunnel or bridge or something that go underwater. But that's the first one I seen that's see-through. Cause I've been under some, I hear the water, like, man, let's hurry up and get through here. Cause I be thinking something can happen, but to be able to see sharks and animals swimming and stuff, I couldn't imagine as a kid. That's good for the driver. I know they probably be nervous, but imagine you just a kid, you'll love seeing that.
And also the driver got to pay attention. The driver gonna be busy looking, and an accident can happen. So the driver, look, I will have to go back a couple of times to let everybody take turns driving, so the people that's not driving can look up and say, "Oh, look at it! Oh, look at it!" Because if I'm busy driving under a glass tunnel, and I'm gonna concentrate on driving. I can't see the shark, the hammerhead. I can't see none of that because I'm gonna be concentrating on the person in front of me. Now, because I gotta watch and see if they might be breaking or something. They might see a shark and just hit and break, and then you go an accident.
Nah, I think it's so far up, they ain't gonna really. It's like us saying the monument. Like they see it so much, the people who there. But for tourist attraction, I think they make a lot of money. They can get a lot of people on a bus, and they can just view it. The driver wouldn't care because this is his job. He do this every day. He done seen it. So I think it benefit. I don't think it'd be like a lot of accidents because the point people looking around. I think they see it so much that's just regular. Like that's just. They got to take that path, like saying the monument in Capitol. I be seeing people down there going crazy. Oh my God, the monument! Like what the fuck? Like we see this shit every day. It's regular to us, but they got tour buses out there. They taking pictures, so it's gonna be the same thing for people who ain't from there. But for the people from there, they used to this. They knew this was coming years ago. So,
and I would take it. I remember when I was a little girl, right here in Washington D.C., right on Landover Metro Station. My mama told us, because we used to ride in buses. our first train ride, I was 7 years old. Wait a minute, was I old? Maybe a little bit older. I was like 7 or 8. Because my sister was old enough to eat McDonald's. So we was like 3, 5, and 7. You know, that's how I lineage thing, because I remember stuff like
McDonald's, huh?
But because that was the first time we took a subway ride, and my mother treated us to McDonald's. So that's why, you know, I remember that. And we all had Happy Meals. So it might have been 3, 5, and 7, like that, or I might have been getting ready to turn 8. But she was telling us, oh, it goes underwater, and it's a train, the tunnel get dark. We was like stoked, like it was going to be like a roller coaster ride. She's like, it goes up and around, talking about Metro, the subway, the regular subway. We get on this thing as little girls, and we looking like all we saw was the darkness of the tunnel. Because it landed over, it rode over top. We passed Deanwood, Minnesota Avenue. Then we got in the tunnel. We didn't see no waters, no trees, no nothing. We was like, Mama, I thought you said this one over and underwater. It was like, Mama, I thought you said we was going to see some. You know, we was like, Mama, I thought you. She was like, shut up. We was like, we ain't seeing nothing but dark. We was like, she overshot the experience, and we was just sitting there like, you know, we thought we was moving. We thought it was gonna be like a roller coaster. We was like, no, this driver, this is like, you know, that's because she overshot the experience. And sometimes when you actually get it, we probably get in the tunnel and be like, oh, okay, maybe they overshooting the experience. But I think it would be neat to go in a glass tunnel, just look at the fishes and stuff outside. You might not see no fish, and you might see some fish. You know, who knows? But I would try it. I would definitely take that ride. I took the ride on the Metro, didn't I? So
I would take that ride in that tunnel, but I would do it with my car as the driver because I have collision alert with brake engage. So that way I'd make sure I did. That way I'd make sure I didn't front end or rear end nobody.
I think, okay, Lady J, David, Phoenix, would y'all take it? Okay, so I would take it. Scotty would take it. Molly said, Molly, you said you would take it, right?
No, I didn't say that. I said I would ride under the bridge. I ain't taking nothing.
Oh, okay. You know what? I mean, ride in the bridge. The ride.
Yeah, ride under the ride under the tunnel.
Okay, you'll take the ride. Phoenix, David, would y'all take that ride?
I won't take a ride for the fact that I can't swim. So if
something would happen, I should have known. Lady J, David ain't even going. Dr. J,
I don't even get in the ocean.
Yeah, but you can't fly neither. But people get on planes.
You sure do get on planes, and I ain't seen no wings on you yet. I ain't plucked not damn feather off you.
See, I love the ocean. I grew up my summers in Daytona. I love marine animals, and sharks and stuff like that fascinate me. I don't want to get close to one, but on a ride like that, you know, I went to SeaWorld when I was a kid. Then I learned the truth about SeaWorld, and I hate that place. But I would love to see something like that. I would be absolutely fascinated by it.
What's the truth about SeaWorld? You just
oh man, the way they treat watch the I think it's on Netflix. It's called Black Shark, or I forget what it's called now. How they treat their animals, the sharks, the dolphins. Oh my God, I was watching it. And just watching it, it sent me into a murderous rage. I mean, oh my God.
You said it sent you into a murderous rage.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I mean, it might be called Blue Shark or something like that. It's kind of how, you know, I mean, not to the same level as like Japanese whale fishing, but the way they treat the animals, the mammals. I mean, my God, it's just horrible. But of course, as a child, I'm ignorant to those facts because it's a world of wonder as a child. but as an adult, you find out these things, and it was before I learned it. I took my son when he was little to it, and he was fascinated. And when he was a teenager, we both watched that documentary, and we were both like, "Oh my God, that's horrible." And he's
Yeah.
like, "You took me there?" I went, "I'm sorry, son. I had no idea at the time."
When you was
Yes.
watching it, did that song?
David, don't keep asking Scotty questions. We back to you
Yeah.
on why you would take you talking about you
Good work,
wouldn't take it because
Good
you
work,
can't swim.
Riri.
Look at you.
No,
Good work.
I just had,
topic, Reese.
I just had
Good
one
work.
more. I just had
That's
one more
your
question. That was
topic.
it.
Gotta do some research, man.
One more question, Reese. Scott,
Okay.
when you was watching that, did you have that song "In the Eyes of an Angel" playing in your head?
No, no, God, no, because I probably would have. No, I probably would have drank heavily,
Yes,
because that's like that SPCA commercial and that meme. Hi, my name is whatever her name is, and I'm about to ruin your whole fucking day. Have you ever seen that meme where it's her on it?
But we want to
But
know
yeah,
why
oh,
David
somebody
Trainer
put
can
it
fly,
up.
but
It's
he
called
won't go
Blue
under a
Shark.
tunnel with water.
Yeah.
I think somebody put it in the chat. It's called Blue Shark. So I just saw it pop up real quick. Yeah, there it is. It's called Blue Shark, and it's devastating and sickening to watch.
Mhm.
Yeah, she cried. It's horrible. I mean, oh my God. Yeah, if you want to find out the truth about it, watch Blue Shark.
Okay. Back to your question.
Oh,
David?
you said why you said why I won't swim, but I'll fly.
No, they said he won't take the ride. He said that because he can't swim.
Yeah. Because I watched it. I can't remember if it was Jaws 2, Jaws 3, or whatever. No, where the shark broke that tunnel. He was too advanced and broke the tunnel in it. Ever since then,
Yeah.
I said I ain't doing that mess. I ain't.
That wasn't on Jaws. That was on a couple of them. Deep Blue Sea, the Samuel Jackson, the LL Cool J.
No, it was it was on Jaws because it was the Jaws Revenge when the mom went.
That was 7. The number
No, he remember. He like I remember the same.
Jaws
Yeah,
Revenge.
I was traumatized. I wouldn't take baths. I mean,
Well, you saw airplanes, and you seen a lot of airplane movies and stuff with them crashing and all that, but you still take a. You know what?
That water.
Life is a gamble. You want to take a risk in everything you do, but you got to get over some of your fears. Like I had to get over the fear of flying when I flew for the first time. I used to be like that, and I'm over my fear, but I ain't getting on no plane no time soon because them people on strike, them Boeing people, look, they ain't fixing the stuff right, and not enough AVA technicians out there. I ain't flying nothing no time soon till they get back on a good foot. How about that?
Hey, I've got a tall tale for you.
I do a lot of gambling. I mean, I do FanDuel. I do.
We know you do, but you don't. You scary with it. We know you are. Lady J, would you take that ride? Would you go in that tunnel?
Yeah, I would go in the tunnel. I travel a lot, so as a matter of fact, I'm traveling on Tuesday. I'll be in the airplane, but I would definitely take that ride. Like I said, listen, I live in Baltimore City, and if that's not scary, I don't know what is. So it's not too many things that really scare me, because I'm not far from Garrison Boulevard, where a lot of stuff happens. So, I hear shooting all the time, and have been sitting at the traffic light with 2 people pulling out guns on each other, So it's not a lot of stuff that really scares me. So I would definitely take it. A lot of times when I'm going on my trips, I'm taking it for the experience of getting out of the city. So, if it's underwater or whatever, I would definitely, I would do it. I would do it.
Yeah. So David is the only one that said nay. Everybody else on the panel said yeah. Okay. Oh, did I ask you, Louisa? Is Louisa still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just listening. No, first of all, because if I'm going to die, well, we all are. I would rather not
Thank you,
go.
Lisa.
Okay. We'll go in the water where I have at least more options. I will not go underwater in a tunnel where I can see what's about to happen to me. But no, I mean, you know, if I go over there and I have to do it, I'll do it. But if I have a choice, no.
Okay. Is Trey with us? Did Trey answer the question?
Yeah, I answered it.
Okay, what was your answer? You say yes or no?
That I ain't care.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you adventurous. Trey, like, okay, I'm adventurous.
No, I just don't care. I mean, we already go under bridges with that go underwater, so
yeah.
Not just that. That was not. I ain't
I
shit
would
to say.
just would love to see the beautiful sights, the fishes and stuff like that. I mean,
Okay.
I've never been to an aquarium, so I would love to go. See, go, ooh, you know. I think I want to go to an aquarium.
Go to DC Aquarium because they used to be able to go over there and look like if you were underwater and see it. So I had that experience. Okay.
Yeah.
But
I think it's beautiful. All I seen was on TV. You know, I believe it or not, like a lot of stuff I didn't get a
I
chance.
ain't never swim with the dolphins or anything like that.
Right.
I ain't never do that before.
What,
swim with the dolphins?
I don't know how to swim.
Yeah, like you go out there with them.
You wear a life vest.
Yeah, and they fun. Like, and they like people sometimes. That shit crazy. They
They're
smart.
very smart. Yeah.
So you and Trey did that before? Trey, you did it?
Yeah,
Molly?
plenty of times. We go in Florida. Yeah, you go to the show. They be like, who want to get in? I'm like, hell yeah. Roll on top of elephants and shit. All types of shit.
The elephant.
Only thing that I don't like is horses. You know, that shit
No, I
hurt
don't.
me.
Yeah, I don't like horses either.
That shit, and then
that
they
jumping
do
shit.
Yeah, I'd be like, hold on now.
I rode horses a lot.
Yeah, that stuff hurt.
Oh, it's not a lot of fun for guys.
Yeah.
That seat look all like, perfect and molded for you and shit. Nah, you might as well land on I don't know, a plank.
It's why I don't understand bicycles. Why do guys get the one with the bar?
Yeah, I know.
Right. You better not sit down, boy.
Right.
I don't know. Do we got one more video for the show?
Before you find the video, I want to go back to Dr. J real quick. Dr. Talking about those who in your church that were going against the pastor. You as technically an elder, you can speak up for him. Don't let them talk to him like that. They would listen to you more than they listen to him, which doesn't make sense because he's the overseer, and they should not be respectful. But you can speak up for them. You can tell them to shut up. Tell them they like everybody else.
I don't have no problem telling nobody to shut up. So when it came to him, I don't really. I think that I said a little bit, but I'm at my age right now, I ain't trying to argue with nobody. Like he's a grown man. He's 35. He held it down. He held his own. And sometimes I don't think that. I feel like as I get older, I don't always need to speak for people because that's
say what's up to you, Reese.
That's that was his place, and he actually spoke up and put people in their place to the point that people started leaving, because they didn't like what he was saying and what he was doing. But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm at an age now where I'm tired of talking, and I let everybody do what they want to do. Just leave me alone,
Yeah.
And I prayed for him. I'm glad he got another position. We got a pastor now. I think he's 49. But people are going to be people, and some people just miserable and they love chaos and confusion. And it doesn't matter what's going on. It's just a lot of people are hurting, and they bring that hurt wherever they go, and they expect you to put up with it. And I know for me back in the day, I had the spirit of laying hands on you. And so as I get older, I'm not
Come
trying to
on
get
now.
locked up or do nothing like that. So
That's right.
I've
That's
learned
right.
to stay in my place, stay in my lane. As long as you ain't messing with my grandbabies and my son, we good. And you leave me alone, we good. Outside of that, the chaplain collar comes off because I'm a chaplain, but it'll come off if you test me. So I've learned to stay in my lane and let grown people do what grown people do. Just leave me and my family alone. And I ain't gonna tell you too many times to leave us alone. So it's a lot, and I think that people, again, we've been talking about people having their own opinions about stuff. And I always say you're entitled to your opinion. We ain't gonna keep talking about it too long because I'm gonna walk away. But I'm going to allow you and give you the respect to have your own opinion and say what you
I
want to
like
say.
that.
But I don't really get into that. I used to be, when I was younger, like I'm arguing, cussing, ready to fight and all of that. Like as you get older, those things don't matter anymore. When I lost my mom a few months ago, losing my mom, I lost my granddaughter a few months before I lost my mom. Like it's certain things in life that will start changing you, and you just see stuff it's not important no more. Like it's not important for me to argue and get my point across. If you don't get it, you don't get it. I'm okay. You know, what I can't get back is my mother. What I can't get back is my granddaughter. So it's just as you get older, you learn to pick your battles.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only ones that I really am out here fighting for every day. Like I said, I'm in with the criminal justice system, and those are the ones that I'm fighting for every day. Outside of that, if you free and you can breathe and do what you want to do, like do you, and I leave it alone because it's just life. Life puts you into certain places and you just learn how to be like, nah, I ain't doing that no more. You learn how important life is when you lose somebody that's really close to you. Um, and you learn that you don't know when when your exit is going to be from earth. So why not enjoy your time while you're here? And I can't enjoy my time being around miserable people. So I choose not to do that. I choose to be around people that are like-minded. We have our little differences and stuff, but we work it out and we keep it moving. If that can't happen, I'm a cutter. I'll cut you off real quick. No, not a problem. I will cut you off. It was a sister that was helping me every month. By the way, y'all, every month, I do an event every month for returning citizens, because I feel like there's a lot of men and women out here that are doing great work and nobody acknowledges the work that they do. So every month I do an award ceremony and I give them awards from the White House. And so they have to be nominated for these awards and vetted and all of that, then you get the award. So every month I've been doing that. And I had somebody that, I thought we could work together. It didn't work out because if I'm trying to work with you and you trying to do the one up on me or you trying to do the backdoor stuff on me, that's a problem. And I ain't gonna fight you no more and argue and all of that no more, but I will cut you off if we will have no more contact or communication um ever, because I'm just about positivity, uplifting people,
Right.
and trying to, if I'm able to accomplish something, I want you to know how to get there and I want you to know how to accomplish it. So, that's where I'm at. That's a long, when you get old, you be answering stuff a long way. But to the young lady's
I appreciate
question,
it.
to her point about the pastor, that's why I really didn't say too much because like I said, I pick and choose my battles and he's a grown man. So like I taught my son, learn how to fight somebody talking about you, learn how to use your words, deal with that situation, and continue doing what you were called to do. So and the people in church who wanted to leave, they left and they should have left because I was sick of them anyway. They should have got up out of there. So they was gone, So yeah, that's it, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that, though. Great
Sometimes when we don't
responses
say
whole
nothing,
time.
people get uncomfortable and they leave the situation. So you ain't gotta always cuss somebody out or get indignant with them. You can just not say nothing, and people know what they do. They know when they did something wrong, and they're gonna disappear. They're gonna not show whatever because they consciously get them. They'll remove themselves anyway. That's
And
what I
people, a lot of times, do you know people wake up every day looking for somebody to argue with, looking for somebody to go off
like that on the show.
you know, and you just like, okay, I ain't sleep with you
Bro,
last
you
night.
about to
Like,
get
what
cussed
is
out
the
again.
problem? You know, like they're people that they just wake up nasty, wake up in a bad mood because you got stuff going on in your life that you didn't deal with. So now you want to bring me into it and you want to say stuff to me. And this was funny because a couple days ago, I was having a conversation with some people. There was some guys in there too. And so they were talking about Elon Musk and who would, you know, people's like, oh, I love his car. Y'all know the car that Elon Musk made.
You know I'm
And so
telling the
people's
truth,
like, you know, I like that. I
Josh.
like his car and this and that and the third. So I'm saying to myself, you know, I don't really like his car and I don't like him. And so then I verbally said, you know, well, because the one guy was like, yeah, I would, if I had the money, I would actually purchase it. And I was like, no, I wouldn't do that because I'm not giving my money to the devil. So this guy says to me out loud, yeah, but you gave your money to the devil with that thing on the back of your head. I said, what you talking about, this wig right here? Because I think everybody in the room know it's a wig. So I don't know why you had to go there or why you thought that was funny or why you had to even take time to say something like that, because I'm the kind of person that will take this off right in front of you. So, you know, like some people, like I told him, stop going the extra mile.
Okay.
You know, stop going the extra mile trying
Like
to make
you just
a point.
like you got me all of a sudden. Nah.
Exactly. Like we're just having a conversation. You said what you said. I'm saying that I wouldn't do it because I'm not giving my money to the devil. I'm not talking about you. If you want to go give the man your money, give him your money. But because this guy had an attitude about other stuff or whatever was going on in his life, that triggered something in him to say to me, oh, you wearing the devil on the back of your head. And then I was supposed to blow up and me and him supposed to go at it. But like I told him, I have no problem taking this right here, taking it off and laying it right down in front of you because everybody know it ain't my hair. So what we talking about? You know?
Right.
And then so everybody's laughing and he's sitting there looking stupid. Because my thing is, you're not gonna bring me into these crazy little situations because you're dealing with something. And that's how we got to start looking at people when they're trying to drag us into something, because I didn't come into the conversation with any heaviness or any malice or attitude or anything. We just talking like I'm doing with y'all right now, you know, but then people bring their stuff. They bring their little truckload of stuff and then they want you to help them unpack or they want you to help them, whatever they want you to do. And because you don't do it, then they start getting an attitude. And we got to learn how to flip it around and not get pulled in to people's craziness. I'm not going to co-sign to your craziness. I'm not doing it. You know, I will put you in your place, but I'm not going to co-sign the craziness. And we
Yeah,
have to let
understood.
people know that it's not okay. Deal with your issues, but don't bring them to my table.
That's right.
You know, don't put them in front
That's
of my
right.
feet. Don't put them in front of me. Don't bring it to me. And like I tell people, when, you know, guys, they come and they want to date and all of it, I'm not helping you unpack your suitcase. I'm not. And so a lot of people, you know, they want to go into relationships, but they haven't healed and they got a bunch of luggage, you know, that we can't see, but they got all of this luggage, all of this baggage, and they want to come into a relationship and they want you to help them unpack. I'm not helping you do it. I'm gonna be real clear. Unpack your baggage, get your life together, and then come and talk. We all gonna come with a little bit of baggage, but when you come in with a truckload of suitcases and stuff, that's a problem. You know, so we have to learn how to use our words and let people know that there's certain things we just not gonna put up with. We're not gonna deal with it. You can't bring it here. That's not gonna work.
Well, one thing I always said, like, are you gonna say something, Reese?
No, I was agreeing with what she was saying. I was just saying, right, you know, because I've been in situations like that, and when I go silent, I'm thinking, and everybody know that when you thinking, you know, you just
Yeah, I've been wanting to know why people think the way they think, So my response is like, why, And then most times you hear them out, you understand, because like we said earlier, people live in different realities, Because I seen the college kids that went to the White House, and people was like shaming them, like, why you go there with that? These black kids finally got a chance to go to the White House to meet the president, but due to the fact who the president is and the programming that's out here that people never met Trump, they already judge him based on what the media say. Like it's no different what you said with the truck. People don't like truck no more based off what the media say about this guy.
Right,
The
right.
people who fans of that guy, if you say anything negative towards that person, they gonna get in defense. So it's like you call Elon the devil. He's the devil in his eyes. Like, I want to get that car, I like that car, it's a nice car, but in your eyes, it ain't. And if I had the money, I wouldn't even get it to support that devil. That hurt him. So he punched
Right,
back.
right.
Some people overlook the fact that they threw a punch too. Like, you ain't have to say car was belong to a devil, because in his eyes, Elon Musk probably a hero to him. He probably look up to him. It's probably things he like about him in his reality though. But for us, we like mostly people our skin color. We don't like them people, so we don't want to support any of them things them people do. But I tell people everything, like they say Cat Williams, he had 20 felonies, and now they come out, he was never convicted of any of them. But the media tell it, the news tell it, he just kept getting locked up. And then when he finally came out and tell his story, now we understand that this be bullshit. So I never seen the media and them push somebody that they didn't like, So I just think they don't like Trump and them. So people might not think of the way that I see things. I just look at both sides and I don't care to judge because I don't like either side. But I never seen them have somebody in office that they like and they push bad on the media. Anything that they don't like a person, Diddy, anybody right now, Bill Cosby, Kelly, you're gonna hear negative things about them. And I've been hearing negative things about Trump all the time, Elon Musk all the time. So if they was really backed by the people that we talk about, they would talk nicely about these people. They will lie about these people. And I think it's really a bad cop, good cop type of game they play, so they can keep it. But I think that's why people get mad, because you might not like a certain person that they like. And if you say, well, he trash, LeBron trash, now they mad. Oh, what Kobe Bryant did it, and now we going back and forth who the best. LeBron not trash. Elon might not be a bad person, Trump, but in my eyes, this is how I look at it. When people start to see that this is my opinion and not the world opinion, or I think they look at it differently. But most time when you say certain things, people take that as you mean like everybody think he's a devil. No, I think he's a devil, and I don't want to support him. I think if it came off like that, he probably been like, oh, well, I don't think so. I support him or something like that. But he was ready to fight back. He don't know how to communicate. You bought your wig from a devil, like what? Or your hair from a devil, like that's the only way he know how to respond. That's the type of people I can't communicate with, But he could have came back and said, well, you support the devil by buying those type of products, like people are evil too. They back up a lot of these human trafficking things that's going on. They back these things, Big Pharma, all these people. So if you go in the grocery store and you buy these certain products, you supporting these devils as well. That's a better conversation than saying how he said it, just punching. So I'd have did the same thing as you. I'd have just avoided and kept it moving, because ain't no point giving them that energy. But some people do wake up like that. You got to avoid those people.
People just got to learn to respect each other's opinion. If that's his opinion, that's his opinion. If that's Dr. J's opinion, that's Dr. J's opinion. But why do your opinion got to be wrong? My opinion is what I think. With me, what I think. That doesn't mean it's wrong or right. That's just what I think. I like. What you think? I favor. It's my opinion. We don't respect each other's opinion. Just like worship. People choose to worship all different kinds of ways, right? They got a different opinion or who God is or whatever. Why can't we just all agree to disagree? I think God is Allah. You think God is Jehovah. You think God is Jesus. You think God is God. You think God is Shiva. Okay, that's your God. I respect you and what you do, and that's your God. But that's not me. That's not for me. But that doesn't mean I still can't love you. That doesn't mean I still can't communicate with you, network or do business with you. But people think because his opinion is different from my opinion, that's it. It's off the table. I can't do nothing with you. And it shouldn't be like this, especially if you still come together as people.
Mm-hmm. And also in talking about when we talk about generations, the way that different generations think. And I remember when my son went off to college, he just had like the wavy, haircut and all of that and the sideburns and everything. But when he got in college, he got his ears pierced, started getting tattoos. He came back home on break and we went to church. He was on spring break. And one of the sisters pulled me to the side. That was the wrong thing to do. And she pulled me to the side and she was telling me, you need to talk to your son. And I said, what did he do something? And she said, because he got those tattoos and he got his ears pierced. And she said, that's of the devil. And
Jesus.
I just looked at her because first I had to remember I was in church. And second of all, when it comes to my son, mind your business. And so what I said to her was, if the only thing my son is bringing home from college is some tattoos on his body and some earrings, I'm okay. He has a high GPA. He's doing well in school. He's working on his second degree. What your son's doing? That's what I said to her. What are your sons doing? Because see, when you start talking about people and pulling up people, you better be ready to come back with your rebuttal when I ask you a question. Because
go ahead, I'm sorry.
There's we have to understand when it comes to our young people, especially this generation, that they are going to be different. They are going to do things differently. My generation, we didn't do tattoos. I think they did do earrings and stuff like that. The men did earrings, but it wasn't a whole lot of tattooing going on. But this is what they do now. They tattoo. My son be talking, he be cussing. And somebody was saying to me, your son is being disrespectful because he cussing. No, that's the way they talk, And I've accepted that. He's 29. And so I've accepted that. My son is very respectful. But it's this whole thing about communicating and just being effective in your communication. It's something that, and I'm gonna say that not just Black people, we all have to learn how to effectively communicate with each other. And when it comes to our young people, we got to understand the generations. We got to understand where they are. When we were younger, I remember when what was his name? Walter Hawkins, not Walter, was it Walter Hawkins? It was in the gospel world, and Andre Crouch. They were like these big gospel artists. But growing
you
up,
talking about Hezekiah?
No. I'm talking about, I'm older than you, so you probably don't remember this. But we couldn't listen to them because they were considered rock and roll, and they doing too much. And if y'all listen to it now, you'd be like, what? And then when Kirk Franklin came out, it was a big thing. So it's like we have to understand and we got to pay attention and we have to look at each generation and understand what these generations are about and what they are exposed to. Because when we start doing that, it'll give us a different level of understanding and how we should communicate with them. Whereas some older people might think that it's disrespectful because young people maybe 20 and up, they cuss when they talk. And people like, oh, she's so disrespectful. No, actually, that's how they communicate. We didn't communicate like that. So I have to accept that with my son. And I can't get on him and say, don't cuss in front of me, because that's how he's learned how to communicate in his generation once he went off to college, And so, and I do know that our young people know how to speak when they get in front of other people and they don't use those cuss words, but when they're downtime and when they talking, do they cuss? Yes, And so, but we have to understand and we got to be more tolerant and more forgiving. I don't know why we don't know how to forgive when we did our dirt too, We did our little mess too, so we got to give them a little more grace out here and give them a little more grace.
Okay, can we back up real quick?
Yes.
I want you to think about something that happened, Dr. J. The very thing that happened with you and the lady in the church happened with you and that guy. He said something, you said something, and he didn't like what you said, he responded. The lady said something to you, you didn't like what she said, and she responded. You guys did the same thing. What happened is, though it's okay to respond or it's okay to have an opinion, because everybody got one just like buttholes. What happens in that opinion, or what happens to that opinion, feelings follow behind it. And just like you said earlier about the opinions, feelings, everybody has those as well. And they are valid, but they may not be accurate. She came at you from
I see y'all comments.
A biblical standpoint, because in the Bible, you're not supposed to get tattoos. You're not supposed to get earrings. You're not supposed to show your feet. Very old school, very, Episcopal, all that. That's how she was out of pocket. She did the same. You responded the same way that gentleman did, though you were voicing your opinion, and he came at you the same way. So what we have to remember, though, like you said, you don't care as long as nobody messes with your baby, which is why you respond the way you did. I know, because I'm like that too. You still got to respond the same to everybody. You have to the way you want to be, regardless of how they speak.
Anybody can get it.
Anybody, yes. But again, if you don't want people responding to you in a certain way, you got to respond to everybody a certain way. It don't matter how.
This is. I don't know if you were in on this part of the conversation, because now my son is 29 now. That he was 18 then.
No,
but let me finish. What I'm saying is this, and what I had said is that a few years back, and I don't know if you were on it, I was talking about how I responded to people and how I would address people, and how I've learned over the years to not do that anymore. Because yeah, because I think it's important, like what you said, I have to teach people, and especially because of what I do, I have to be that person. If I'm going to say don't respond that way, and I'm going out doing seminars and those kind of things like that on communication, I have to make sure that I'm showing people how to do that when I'm talking to them. So like I said, a few years back, I would put my hands on you, I would cuss you out, and I would tell you off. But I've learned over the years, and people, just to give you a current example, I have twin grandchildren now. And my son has gotten a lot of flack because he's not married. He's living with his girlfriend. And people have said all kinds of stuff to me. And you know what? I've been quiet, because I don't need to comment on that. That's my son's life. The babies are healthy, they're doing good. Whatever your opinion is, and a lot of this comes because I'm a pastor's daughter. And so my father's pastor a lot of churches that we've been to. And so people have a lot of opinions because, his grandfather was our pastor. She's a chaplain. But I've learned over the years to keep my mouth shut, and they still say a lot about my son, to the point where my son does not go to church anymore because of what's been said about him having babies out of wedlock. Never mind, the babies were preemies, 1 and 2 pounds, and that's why I don't say anything, because my focus is on, thank God that they're now 16 and 9 pounds, So I'm not, I don't need to address y'all for what y'all saying about my son having a child out of wedlock. That's between him and God. My prayers now are for my babies, and that's it. And I pray that he will come back to church. That's up to him. But I've learned over the years to be silent. Just don't say nothing and let people, your opinion, like I've been saying this whole time, your opinion is your opinion. And I respect that to the fullest. And I have mine. But for the most part, what you're going to get from me these days is silence. Lady J, you have something to say? No, I don't. I have nothing to say.
Well, I went through that.
Yeah.
I was a teen
mother.
And I had 5 children. All 5 children are by that father. And you know, we got married a couple years after we had our first child. But again, I went through that. You know, I was raised in the church, so of course I had to hear the same thing. You know what my response was? He's cute, ain't he? He's beautiful. His name is Fonzie, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I heard it all. The thing is, we have to learn, because we're human, we're flawed, which means we think we know everything and don't know nothing. Are learning every day. And when people come at you or come at your son or come at, you know, you don't have to go down the list and just because you're give them a holy, no. Jesus, and he flipped tables, and so you don't have to respond in that way, but you can say, yeah, my babies, oh, he sure did, and they are healthy, and they are this, and they are that, and walk off, or like, you know, it could be a whole different thing, because some people take silence as disrespect too. So again, it's just different ways to deal with it. I had to deal with that. I'm now 40, about to be 41, and had different experiences. And I also know when to be quiet and when to speak. And if I got something to say, I'm going to say it. I don't have to go with the attitude. Because again, that was back then. I would fight too. I would. That's what I did. But I pull in the tail. You know? But as you get older, you don't do that. You have to find different ways. Your profession, you got to talk to people, and you're teaching people how to do certain, you know, which is great, but also teach them how to respond. I'll say politically correct, because you know we don't.
You.
But how, and always.
I think it's important when we talk about this too, that you have to know about your emotional triggers. You have to know what triggers you. So if I understand with myself, if I understand that what's going to trigger me is you keep saying something about my son, and then I comment, and then you comment, and then I comment, my heart going to start beating faster, and my voice going to start escalating, and we're going to get into it. And so I've learned with myself that that's a trigger for me. And so the best way for me to deal with that situation, because my twins are they just turned 5 months, you know, and I'm so tired of people talking. I'm so tired of people talking. And not only that, my first grandbaby by him with his girlfriend passed away. I was at the hospital, 4 days old, last February. She's supposed to be coming home. And she started having bleeding on the brain and passed away. And so people don't take into consideration that I'm still grieving over that, you know, losing my grandchild, even though I got 2 beautiful twins now, you know, but that was just a year ago that happened, you know. And so I know what my triggers are. I know what my limitations are. It's not good for me to have a conversation with you when you're saying something negative about my son. So what I've learned how to do for me, the best thing to do is to be quiet and let you have your opinion. So you think my son is going to hell because he has babies out of wedlock?
That's right.
Okay. You know, I have to let you have that, you know, and I have to let you have it, number one, because that's your opinion. But number two, because I know who God is, I know that God has the final say. So why am I arguing with you about that? Why are we going to have a conversation about that? That his relationship is with God. My prayers for my babies and my son. That's it. You know, I don't need to take this any further. And so when I'm talking about, and I'm doing seminars on communication, we always talk about emotional triggers, because if you don't understand what triggers you, even though you're trying to effectively communicate, you may still not be communicating the right way, because something in the conversation may trigger you. And so I've had to learn through trial and error, like, okay, Charlene, be quiet when it comes to this. Okay, you can talk about that. Okay, be quiet about that. You know, I've had to learn through trial and error when to keep my mouth closed and let it go, because the most important thing that came out of this situation was these 2 precious babies who are doing well. And that's what I can be happy and thankful about. Now, your opinion about my son, having children out of wedlock, you got to take that to the Lord in prayer. That's what you have to do. And sometimes I'll say to people, you know what? I hear you. This is what I say to them. I say, I hear you. Please do me a favor and pray for my son as I'm praying for him. And it's nothing else more for them to say. You know, we not arguing, we not fussing. I'm asking you to do me a favor and help me to pray for my son. And so we have to learn, and those are things that I've learned. It's taken a long time, and a lot of mistakes over the years with this mouth of mine. But and I'm still learning every day, as the sister said, we still learning every day. But the communication for me on my end has gotten, I would say, 95% better, because I've learned how to figure out what triggers me in certain conversations. And that's something that we had to learn. And y'all, I got to get ready to go. I'm gonna put all of my information in the chat. But it was nice
Yes.
being on here, sister. Thank you for inviting me on. I met her at the comedy show a couple weeks ago, and she was so friendly. And this is what I love about people when you meet them and they're just so friendly. And we started talking, we exchanged phone numbers, found out we had a lot in common, talked the other night for 3.5 hours. you know and so I just want to say thank you for having me on. Thank you for inviting me. I gotta have you on my stuff too. And y'all caught me on a good day, because normally I have no time to be on the phone for even 10 minutes during the day. But this was a day, like I said, my tire blew out, so I had to get the tire fixed. And I had promised her I was going to carve some time out today just to spend with her, on the podcast. But this has been great. And y'all, I see your book. This has been great. And thank you all for having me on. And, it's just been great having the
It's been an
conversation.
awesome conversation the whole time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm definitely going to put my information in there, like my
Yeah.
social media information, if y'all want to reach out to me. And I'll
Definitely
be
will.
sending you the flyers and stuff about the show
Mm-hmm.
next week. And also,
Mm-hmm.
if you know anybody who is a returning citizen and they out here doing great things, please let me
When you say
know.
returning citizen, you mean from the penal system, right? Somebody that's
Yes.
coming home. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
you was talking to one JoJo Baby. He been home doing great things. He doing comedy, but he
Who's
did
that?
time. He out Baltimore. The one was on here
Oh,
talking to you, asked for your number, so he gonna call you.
okay. Yeah, I'll talk to him, because I
We,
definitely
we
would like
all
to
know
honor.
we all know William. We all know DJ B man. So that's how we all are
Oh,
linked.
I know him very well. Okay, yeah, he's actually being honored already. He's been honored in July. So he should
Okay.
be telling y'all about it. Yeah, he's gonna be honored in July. He's been on my, like, we've been doing stuff together a lot for a while. So I know him really well. But yeah, if you know anybody that's been incarcerated and they out here doing their thing, please let me know, because we really trying to change the narrative, and letting people know and understand that our returning citizens are making a difference when they come home. They're not just out here being repeat offenders. They're out here doing great things. And so we've been on the news and everything about this. So we really want to let everybody know that we got some great men and women out here. So you can reach out to me and you can nominate the person. I can call them and talk to them, and then we can set it up from there. And I
How
do it
long
once a
do they
month.
have to be home? Like, can they be home for a
Um,
while?
they have to be
Or
home at least 6 months.
okay, I mean, no, like say that they've been home for 10 years and they got their
Yeah.
business set up and they start a business
Yes,
and they do all that.
absolutely.
Okay, good.
Absolutely, yeah. And they the thing is, they cannot have any problems with the law since they've been home. No
Okay.
problem, no. If they have, well, let me just say what the rules are. You cannot have any rape offenses um on your record. You also cannot have any offenses against law enforcement. Those are the things, because these awards are coming from the White House. And so when you're nominated, I have to actually send your name in. I have to write up, what you've been doing. You have to have at least 300 hours within a 12-month period of community service. And so I have to put all of that information in there. Um, and I'm audited. If they choose to audit me, I got to make sure I have all of this information and that is accurate. And then once I send everything in and it's submitted, they accept it, and then you're eligible to get the award. You get a medallion from
That's
the
what's
White
up.
House, and you also get a certificate from the White House. It's a Presidential Volunteer Service Award certificate from the White House. Um, You know, so
Do they
and
give
this
them
one,
any type of gift card or any type of
no,
T-shirt? No. Okay.
Yeah,
no,
but
no,
so
no,
much
Just
no,
fun.
just
no,
a
but
certificate and a medallion. Okay.
the certificate and the medallion. And the thing about it, like I always say to everybody, what a great thing to get after you spend time being incarcerated, and then you end up getting something from the White House, you know, for you to put on your resume or to show or whatever. You know, this is something that you can show the world that you actually you're making a difference and you're
Yeah.
accomplishing something in life. And the great thing is that a lot of men that have come out and that have gotten the award so far, they've given it to their mother, they've given a medallion to their mother or their
Mm-hmm.
son, you know. So it's just great because I go to court with these people and then follow them while they're in prison and then to see them come out doing great things and be able to give them this award. So if you know anybody that's
I know
interested,
a lot of
that's
people. I just
eligible.
do murder matter. A lot of my friends just come home from murder. I mean, they did it when
Mhm.
they was kids, but you know, they trying to change their lives and do good things out here. They just don't know how to go about it. It ain't been
Yeah.
6 months, but it's been at least about 4, almost about 6 months. But if they
Mhm.
they home from murder, do that matter? I heard you said rape. None of them rape anybody, but a lot of
No.
them, you know, got into things when they was young and them had to protect themselves and hurt somebody else. But do they hold them back for this
No,
program?
that doesn't hold them back, but they have to have some type of community. They have to be doing some type of community service. So
Okay.
if they have a minimum, the minimum is 300 hours of community service within a 12-month period. That makes them eligible. If they don't have any community service, you know, it doesn't matter what they did, they wouldn't be able to get the award because I have to document the community service hours and find out who they're with, like what organization were you with? Was it a church or who was it with you were with when you were doing your community service? So yeah,
Okay.
but
So
what we
a sex offender can't get it, but a killer can get it.
a sex
Why would you
offender
ask
cannot get
that?
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Because
sex
a
offender
lot of
cannot get
people,
it.
I know some
Taking up
people
for this message.
who got charges for sex offenders or rape, statutory
Yeah,
rape,
we don't
where
even
the
try to
girls
honor
are
no sex
16
offender,
and the
no
girls
way.
are 19. So my
I
question
was silly.
is, can I finish my question?
Yeah, give you
My
some.
question is
Yeah, go ahead.
that a person
Silly ass question.
that for a sex offender or whatever cannot get it, but a person that kills somebody can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not my rule. This is the
Why
rule
are
of
you in
the.
like?
Yeah, that's not my rule. I'm just giving out the awards. I'm just telling you what's told to
Wow.
me as the entity that's able to give out the awards. So I don't know why that is, but you know,
Kids come first. Always protect the kids. It might
yeah,
not always be
and law
true that
enforcement.
you guys did
Yeah.
it.
Who asked that? That's
Yeah. You
So
got
I don't. Yeah. I don't know. Don't shoot me. I don't know.
it was only one
but
person wanted to know anyway. Don't worry
but
about it.
No,
but
no, that's
yeah. So
only
you
you,
can.
Stacey. Don't do that. That's not
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah. But they.
want to know.
Right, but I
Right.
mean it's a good question, you know, and I don't know why, but that's they give us a list of oh, I thought that was my sister. They give us a list of the who can and who can't, okay? And so the other thing that I do also is because I work so closely with the people inside and outside, I also honor one person that's on the inside who's doing great work on the inside. They cannot get the presidential award, but I order a special award for them. It's a glass award that I order for them, crystal award. I'm sorry, crystal award that I order, crystal plaque that I order for them, and I present it to their family. That comes out of my pocket. So you know, because I want to let them know that we're still supporting you even though you're inside, and we're grateful that you're doing great work on the inside. The last person got his doctorate degree on the inside, and so people on the inside are doing great things as well as the ones on the outside. And
all the way
what
to
I
1,000.
what I will say is that no, let me not say that. Let me just be quiet on that one. I'm gonna be quiet because you can't say everything. But we do when people are nominated, we do talk to them first to let them know what it's all about, to ask them some of the questions that I was just sharing with you, the do's and don'ts, and to see if they're actually eligible. The tickets are $25 to come to the event. You get dinner. It's an all-you-can-eat dinner from 3 to 4 o'clock. We do it from 3 to 6, and from 4 to 6 is the award ceremony. Some people, when I first started this year, they was like, well, why we got to pay to come? Well, the same reason you got to pay when you go to comedy shows and you go to all these other places. Food is not free and the venue is not free that I'm having it at. And this is a me thing that I'm doing. It's not a group, it's not nobody, it's me. It's something that I want to do because I see that it's not being done. So I tell people, if the $25 is too much, just don't come. It's okay, don't come. But we've been blessed with the room has been filled every single month this year. The room has been filled to capacity, and I'm turning away people at the door. And so I'm really grateful to be able to have this opportunity to do this. But when we were talking earlier, when we were talking about us not supporting us, it's sad because I've gotten so much flack. The awards ain't really coming from the White House. So I had to do a video and give them all of the information of the company to look up, which is called AmeriCorps. Y'all can look it up too. AmeriCorps is the one that helps us to be able to give out these awards. And I was like, it's a shame that your own people, one lady said, oh, you out here, you just trying to make money. Miss, I don't need to make money like that. I got to sit around and wait a whole month for $25 from this. I don't need to do that. And so this is something that I'm doing because I think people are deserving of it. And nobody, we talk about our brothers and sisters when they're getting arrested and when they're doing the crime, but we're not talking about the great work that they're doing when they come out. And so I'm trying to put a spotlight on when they come out. Look at what they're doing now, because people do change. And so that's the purpose of the program. And so again, tickets are $25. If anybody wants to come, the next one is going to be June 29th. It's in Baltimore at 5814 Harford Road. But I'll send you the flyer.
Okay.
Yes.
And so so you'll have it. And if y'all want to come out, like I said, if you want to nominate somebody, you have my number, let me know. I have a couple of people that helped me to interview people. And the other thing that I did was I hired people to cook. So all of this $25 money goes to that. I hired people to cook, to be there to serve the food, to be at the door. I hire security on the parking lot. So this all costs money every month. I ain't getting rich from it, I promise you. But it's a great thing to do. And the joy is just seeing the families come up. I've watched some of these mothers cry in court when their children are being incarcerated. And now these are happy tears on the other side where they get to see their child getting an award from the White House. So, that's a great thing. Yeah. So that's what
It
I'm doing
is.
now. Yep. So y'all, thank you so much. I'm gonna put my information at the bottom.
All right, have a good day.
All right,
Thank you
love.
so much. Thank you
so
so
much for
much.
being on.
You're welcome. And if anybody want to be on the show, we'll be doing the secrets. Let me
I'm
know.
gonna reach out. I'm reaching out. Don't worry.
Dr. J, one more time.
Yes.
Josh said, what kind of doctor are you? One more time, tell him.
Okay, so my doctorate is in divinity. I am a chaplain. And so, and that's a whole other story. We had to talk about that another day. But I study mental health in the church and in the community. So I do a lot of mental health work everywhere, and I do seminars and stuff like that on mental health.
She's a doctor.
Yeah, they said she using that money to look younger.
Say that again.
He said you using that money to look younger.
That's why you look 45 instead of 65, whatever, 60 years old, whatever you said.
That is so hilarious. Oh my goodness.
That's what
Oh
it
my
is.
God. How
She
you doing,
investing
sir?
in the fountain of youth and shit. That's what it is.
That is so funny. That's so hilarious. Oh my goodness. I'm good, sir. How you doing? That's okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm already hip off that. Yeah, that's the same thing I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay.
Somebody tell you want to watch.
Huh?
You got another video? You done?
Nah.
No, we've been over here over 3 hours. I'm late. Yep.
My apologies, y'all. My children's father calling me.
Yeah,
it's all good.
It's okay. Look, and Josh said another hour.
I'm
Look at
sending
you,
cash
Josh. I know Josh ain't saying nothing.
Cash out. You wanna ask out? Cash out.
Said another. Look, that's
Straight
what you
deal.
said. Another hour. Josh, fun. Josh, we gotta get ready for your show tonight, right?
Nah, it's canceled.
Oh, it's canceled. Oh.
Yeah, I've been promoting that all day. Josh's show is canceled today. Y'all ain't coming on today.
You know what? You need to stop.
I think we back on.
Stop saying it.
8 o'clock.
Month. I don't
You
know.
said 7.
Man.
7 o'clock.
It's like, nah.
Hi y'all, what up everyone? This is LA Josh Preston, host and producer of the podcast with LA Josh Preston, every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook Live and on Twitch. But in the meantime, you're listening to Althea McFarlane and the Morning Mac Show. Hey, play with it.
Play with it, but don't play with it. Yeah.
Hiya, Josh. Hiya. That's my boy LA Josh Preston. So tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time.
7.
7.
He just played it.
My apologies.
We ain't gonna let you know.
He talking about for Marley, my show at 10 o'clock.
He said for Marley. Marley don't come on at 10 o'clock.
11:30, everybody.
Whenever you say, all right, y'all, that's a good show, I be like, hold on, nah. That's when I start commenting a lot more.
Yeah, nah. We're gonna kick this shit up a little bit.
Some cash after.
So you the one that be
They be
making
sending
the
them donations in too, though. They be sending them donations.
Yeah, I send money.
Yeah,
I got to keep my cash out. Make sure keep them going.
Yeah, for real though.
But this was a good show and everything, and to be DJ B Man, William Wallace, we got nothing but love. Watson, I got nothing but love for you here on the Morning Mac Show.
Yeah, I'm gonna say what I gotta say though, so just know that in the future too.
All right.
Hot takes rising like the morning brew. Fresh ideas and a laugh or two. From the first headlines to your daily dose. This is the show where your spirit goes. Oh, it's the morning.
We on there tonight, chow. We gonna come watch y'all. I don't like that it's called the LA Preston show though. It should be called like LA Preston and Chow show or something, man. You gotta add Chow.
Oh, Molly, why you instantly?
What's it gonna be about tonight? Mental health.
I don't even watch this Chow on there. I don't watch it for no other reason. I come to see Chow.
You only come see Chow. It's like that sometimes. Louisa, thank you. Newville, thank you. My baby.
I ain't say much.
We ain't feeling that today.
David Green, definitely David Green. Where's David Green at? What's David Green?
Hey, what you got going in that background? I like it.
Yeah, he done figured
Little flavor to the show, a little change, little something. Check it out again. Here it
goes.
Wait a minute, hold it, stop the music. Josh just put $5 over, Molly.
Okay, you guys saying what? How much more?
Tomorrow though, huh?
What is it? We an hour show. So we
got my
got 2
grandma
hours.
shit. Come on.
We got 2 hours over. We 2 hours over. We need about $15 more. That was
that
all
music
right.
up again.
We did that at 2 hours.
We've been on the line 3.5 hours.
We can at least get Josh a question. Josh, you got a question for the panel?
You got
Anybody?
a question for us then? Yeah, let's answer a question then for him.
Yeah, you got a question for the panel. LA to send some money in. You can ask any question on the panel.
Okay, that can at least extend us tomorrow. Then extend another hour for Josh or something tomorrow. We gotta make it real nasty though, y'all.
Where y'all going? Turn that music.
We gonna.
You got a question for us? Anything?
Y'all on fire.
Or video? What, Molly? You play video and we answer the video? You want
No.
another
We
video,
can do
John?
it. They said we can do it on Freaky Friday.
Thank you, the Lord.
Okay.
'Cause
Make
we've
sure
been
you
on
send
here 3.5 already.
Make sure you send it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They have a topic. Tell Josh to send a topic in too.
Oh yeah. Like maybe 2 topics.
Yeah, y'all send some topics in for tomorrow.
We'll spin off of that.
New ideas with the sunrise spark. Fuel for your fire when the world feels dark. Spinning the tracks of your mental glow. Every listen's a hit on the morning night show. Where the time gets your inspiration packed in a casual swag. Sip it slow, feel the rhythm hit your toes. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow.
I wish they had one for music or something like that. Something I could do with my hands for music.
Roll out of bed, bring your dreams alive. Crack up the groove, keeping you in stride. Don't wake up. This is your hour, let your story unfold.
Peace.
Freaky Friday tomorrow.
Yeah.